All right, the crowd loves what they're going to see here tonight. Get your seat belts on, fans. For as long as it goes, it should be a wild one. As Jay Nady, the third man in the ring, calls the combatants in.
Do you have any questions? Okay, the belly button is the line. You're a little bit above the belly button, but not very much. That's good. So it's going to be the belly button to the hip bone. We have 12 rounds. Obey my commands. Touch gloves. Let's go to work.
All right, so we're set to go. Oscar De La Hoya decked out in the red and gold, and in the white with the blue is Arturo Gatti. Gatti, the former junior lightweight champion of the world, and Oscar, 21 world title fights, 5-time world champion in 4 weight divisions. So you figure it out who's got the edge here going into this fight. But make no mistake about it, this will be a war as long as it goes.
Yeah, Gatti has done something I've never seen anybody else in boxing do. He maintained his marketability even when he lost 3 consecutive fights. Back in 1998, 2 to Ivan Robinson and 1 to Angel Man Freddy. Most fighters would be pushed way back and have to earn their way back after that. Gatti maintained his place in boxing. Only guy I've ever seen do it.
Well, Captain Duva's done a nice job at main events, and Carl Moretti and the whole staff, Dennis Baldwin, from keeping this guy in the foreground. He's not a difficult guy to promote because he is a terrific fighter and action-packed. You can see he doesn't have quite the speed in the hands of Oscar De La Hoya, not really in the class, but he'll make this as tough for Oscar as possibly. Notice kind of getting down there low like Pernell Whitaker, seeing if that'll work for him, making himself smaller than he already is. Making Oscar miss here in the first round, so there's no difference in the first minute of this fight. Oscar is showing a little patience after coming off that loss.
Well, Gatti will try some different things and maybe some different looks, but ultimately for him, it has to turn into a slugfest for him to have any kind of a chance if he gets nailed by De La Hoya there. He's a good left hook artist if given a chance, but he'll also be going up against the speed of De La Hoya and, of course, the ring smarts.
And the power. Gatti continues to come forward, trying to get that jab out there as he closes what I like to call the kill zone. He got Oscar with a pretty good left hook that time after he threw the right hand. So he came in with the jab through the right hand and then the left hook. Oscar avoids it by ducking down the wild right hand of Arturo Gatti. There's that looping right hand by Oscar. Right back with uppercuts is Arturo.
And he's firing his shots from a distance. That is dangerous for Gatti. Now you want to get the big shot home, but De La Hoya is studying where those punches are coming from, and he's ducking inside, and he has an excellent chance to counter one of those wide shots.
It's something you didn't see from Oscar De La Hoya either. When Arturo went down, kind of squatting down, right down with him went Oscar. So obviously they've studied some films of this guy. He knows how he wants to handle that situation. Got him missing a lot of shots that have parried off the hands of Oscar De La Hoya, and he's falling short. Meanwhile, Oscar's getting the jab through and bouncing the head back and looking right in the chin. Right hand, right hand, right hand again. And he hurt. Gatti goes down. A series of lefts and right hands. It counts up to 5 and 6 and 7. He's back on his feet. Remember, there's no quitting this guy. He looks a little stagnant, but we're at the very end of round number 1, so Jay lets it go on. Oscar wants to finish here if he can. Catches Gatti again. Boy, this is some tough kid as the bell ends. There's a 10-8 round for Oscar De La Hoya.
A sudden opportunity that De La Hoya saw, got inside, and here's the power. Heavy hands, drops Arturo Gatti. Good power coming through, hips generating everything, and the speed of De La Hoya. What an athlete. Take a look from over here how he maintains his balance, and that brings more punches in, it brings more speed and more cumulative power.
Yeah, it was a right hand power shot that spun the head, then the uppercut snapped it back, and then he had a finishing punch as well. This is round number 2. It's scheduled for 10. Most people don't think it'll go that distance. Gatti continues to go down, and Oscar will go down with him. This kid's as tough as nails.
No shoulder.
Jay Nady say no shoulder, and that's meant for Oscar because he has a tendency to sit guys up. He slipped down, and Jay right on top of Arturo, so that he wouldn't attack in a situation where there was a slip involved, or at least a trip over the foot for Oscar. Maybe a terrific referee. There's that combination again by Oscar De La Hoya.
Don't shoulder.
One of the things that make him an elite fighter, all the fights we've watched for Oscar De La Hoya, I've never seen him fail to detect a weakness and jump on it. Any point in the fight, when he senses something, he's on it with combinations.
He's already split open the right side of the right cheek of Arturo Gatti back in the first round. He had Gatti down, comes back, and you just don't see the real power. A little bit low is Arturo with a combination of punches. Good right hand in there by Oscar. Solid right hand, that one even heavier. And another solid right hand. A little bit blocked that time on the gloves of Arturo.
And when you're watching, if you get the wide angle shot, watch the hips of De La Hoya. Watch how he generates the power through there when he's getting 2 to 3 punches in a row. He gets great momentum on his punches as he maintains his balance.
And we've talked about in past fights the unusual sort of, orthodox style that he has, but he has that right hand forward a lot and squares up, and he gets away with it because he's so skilled and so quick. Hanging the left hand down now, trying to sucker Arturo in. And you hear referee Jay Nady say, watch your heads, guys. Arturo's already cut 40 seconds ago, and this is the second round. Another good round for Oscar. Just landing more stuff, landing heavier stuff. Bashes him in the head. Arturo answers with a light left jab on the chin of Oscar, but to no avail. He doesn't seem to have power against this guy. 19, 18, 17, and now down to 15 and 14 seconds. This is really good stuff by Oscar De La Hoya. Arturo Gatti is busted up a bit, and Oscar's certainly really fresh. So let's see how it unfolds here in round number 3. Two former world champions doing battle, and Oscar De La Hoya, the bigger man, taking advantage of everything he can with Arturo Gatti. Remember, for those of you who don't know Arturo Gatti, he's a guy who will not quit. He'll keep slinging punches, and what do you call him, a gunslinger to start out with, and that's a good description of this guy. Oh, and he blasts Oscar. While Jay was trying to separate him, and this kid, there's a lot of street in this kid from Montreal, fighting out of Jersey City.
Especially in a fight like this where you have to try to get one punch to turn a fight around. He's done that in many fights. One big shot changing the fight. The only time I really saw him in a good boxing exhibition truly was against Tracy Harris Patterson when he captured his first championship, and that was a good height situation for him. He showed a lot of discipline, showed that he can box a little bit, but what happens is he gets in the ring and it reverts back to his street nature when he gets hit.
Yeah, and that's what's about to happen here, because he just took a couple of hellacious shots from Oscar De La Hoya. Now Oscar goes downstairs, works the body, blasts him with the right hand on the high left cheekbone. And you notice that Arturo is very short with a lot of his punches, and Oscar able to slip punches when he throws the right hand because he doesn't have the same hand speed that Oscar has. Oscar has a tendency to use that shoulder. You hear Jay Nady say, watch the shoulder. And that eye, the right eye, is really starting to get busted up here, and we're only in the 3rd round. We mentioned that Joe Souza, the cut man, one of the very best in the business, would have his work cut out for him, and he has.
Well, the percentage of quality shots hitting Gatti, very high. Yeah, this is heavy hands from De La Hoya, better than his other opponents, and so it's speed and power that Gatti has to react to, and it's a huge order.
And this is a very crowd-pleasing fight, as you can hear. The attendant crowd at the MGM Grand Garden absolutely loves this fight.
Break! Don't punch. Don't push off.
Another there's the difference right there in the hand speed. And again, the heavy left hand, big right hand snaps the head of Arturo. Arturo has to hang on, and that right eye is beginning to bother him a lot. Jay Nady looks into it.
They both had the right idea in letting their hands go, but De La Hoya was just a little faster in getting his punches home and did major damage to Gatti. And Margaret Goodman will look at the eye, the ringside.
It's okay.
Physicians working with the referee.
In spite of the fact that she's a female doctor, she's a very experienced ringside doctor. And so she'll let it go unless it's a real problem. Look at these shots back and forth. The crowd loves it. And so do I. This is great stuff. The bell finally ends. All right, here we go. Round number 4. The Colonel Bob shirt along with Dave Bontempo. We're at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. I've got De La Hoya out in front after 3 rounds by 5 points, and then I gave him a 10-8 round last time, and there was a knockdown involved in the first round.
No shoulder!
And
Stop that!
looking at the manner that these guys are fighting, you can almost put something in the scoring that you lose a point if you jab.
Oscar, I'm gonna give you a third
These
warning
guys
here
are
on the
just
shoulder.
loading up with big shots, a crowd-pleasing fight. Big hook by Gatti.
You know, with the hand speed and everything, just the perfect opponent. And you hate to call Gatti an opponent, but he is for Oscar De La Hoya in comparison to the class that he's been in before. Nobody cares here either because they enjoy seeing the train wreck that's about to happen.
Yeah, you contrast this with other fights where the guys wait too long and it's nothing but
That was
a
way too low. Keep it up.
chess match, and it's tedious to some people. Here, this is just big shot after big shot.
Jay Nady is developing into a terrific referee, and Oscar De La Hoya having a terrific night here with a little over a minute gone. Look at this kid. There's no quitting Arturo Gatti. You pay your price and you get a good fight out of Arturo, and that's why he's been so marketable for main events. And there's a lot of fights out there with good fighters that are left for him in spite of he's getting beaten up pretty good here tonight. He's still only 28 years of age. His body is probably more like 30 or 31 because of the amount of damage that he takes. But a lot of the damage to the head and his face splits up a lot too. He's got those high cheekbones which aren't helping him.
Getting nailed here, astounding to be able to maintain his marketability, and it shows what fight fans want, a guy who brings his lunch and gives you an honest effort every time, and he is really paying a price here against De La Hoya though.
Well, if he doesn't keep throwing, Jay Nady will stop this fight. There's a lot of time remaining in the 4th round, and this guy's absorbing a lot of punishment and a lot of punishment to the head. But as long as he's throwing, Jay won't stop him. A little bit downstairs again is Arturo, but the fact that he's able to throw punches from the damage that he's taken, and now, as he lunged forward, there's just no power even with his right hand.
And that's what the corner has to weigh, and the referee looking at it too. Okay, the guy is still throwing punches, but if he is a power puncher, if he loses that part of it, then you really have to jump in because he's lost his best chance to be in the fight.
One decent left hook, and Oscar's gone downstairs, then he comes right back upstairs, right hand, left hook, and he backs off the former champion, Arturo Gatti. Oh, he's just really beating him up now. The bell ends round number 4. Big question about how much further this thing can go. Look at the eyes are busted up. He's puffy by the other eye. He was down in the 1st round. The 3rd round, I scored it 10-8. Well, listen in. Floyd Mayweather Sr. in the corner of Oscar De La Hoya says, "Get this guy here, jump right on him." Gatti comes out. It's amazing me how fresh he looks at the start of this 5th round, considering the damage that he absorbed in the 3rd and 4th round.
Stop!
But he's very weak in his legs right now, and that's why Oscar's gone downstairs.
And the fact that Gatti appeared to be fresh in the beginning of the round indicates why in the corner of De La Hoya they're saying, finish this. We don't want this guy to have any possibility to be in this fight. And the corner of Gatti has to look at this closely as well. Save their guy for another day.
Now, he threw about 7 or 8 punches in a row there, none of which landed. Oscar looks like he might have a little bit of muscle. Maybe that's the blood from Gatti's by his left eye. But Gatti's face is really busted up. And those are the reasons why, yeah, I guess it was just blood from Gatti's hand. Wild with the right hand again is Arturo. These punches are hurting to the ribs, underneath the elbows, downstairs and out. trying to break him down, trying to get those hands down. And Oscar will come back upstairs with the other. Look at this. Big left hook. Digs to the body. Arturo has to hang on. A lot of time left in this round. And I think it's all over. It's all over. J80 said, no, I'm not letting him take any more punishment. And a good stoppage.
Referee J80 calls a halt to the bout at 1 minute and 16 seconds of round number 5. The winner by TKO victory. He is now on the road back from East LA, the Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya.
All right, gentlemen, this is for the WBO middleweight title. You've received your instructions in the dressing room. Again, I want to caution you. Any punch below this point, going to be called low. Any punch below this point, going to be called low. With that said, obey my commands, protect yourselves at all times, touch them up, good luck to both of you.
Right. So we're all set to go here at the MGM Grand Garden Arena here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Felix Sturm certainly looks very cool, Dave. He really has handled the whole week here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, he looks on the muscle. He has handled the media attention very well. And we've seen different fighters handle that differently. He has done a good job in that respect.
And it's interesting to note that Oscar De La Hoya came up to 154, facing a European fighter from Spain and Javier Castillejo. And now he takes on a kid with an undefeated record in 20-0 with 9 knockouts, who's actually 6 years younger than Oscar is. So let's see how Oscar handles it. Remember, it's Oscar coming up in weight, trying to take this championship away from this kid, Felix Sturm, who's a very, very good fighter. Oscar in white, Sturm in the black and red. You see, he gets his jab through this. See what I mean about his boxing right away?
Yeah, and you would expect this to be a continuation of what we have seen as Oscar De La Hoya moves up and takes a left hook there, is that these good punches he uses and all the techniques which have leveled lighter fighters are not going to have the same impact on heavier fighters, so he's going to have to box more, be more persistent, and try to wear guys down, but he will also take heavier shots.
Well, you know, right away at the outset in the first minute, Oscar not waiting, trying to mix with this kid, and the kid holding right up against him is Felix Sturm. As I mentioned, he's a very good fighter, terrific jab, and he's getting it through more than we've seen other guys. The problem with these guys is they're both so good, they're both so accurate with their punches. Both men have to win the close rounds. In Germany, certainly Sturm would get the even rounds, and it'll probably work in Oscar's favor to get the even rounds here. So they must win him definitively, and there hasn't been anything definitively happening in the first minute and a half of round number 1.
And that's why the negotiations for where fights are become so intense. That perceived home field advantage that you'll get, it's worth a couple of points fighting at home.
Castillejo came here from Spain, but it was kind of a one-sided fight. But everybody expects this to go some rounds, and also for it to be a very close fight. But that could all change with the power of Felix Sturm, because he's a legitimate middleweight at 160, and Oscar's coming up. Although he's been able to handle this, moving up from all the way from 130 pounds right through, and won championships all the way through at every weight division. But again, this is a close round, round number 1. And Oscar's going to find that even though he dominated Castillejo in fighting this European fighter at 160 pounds, he's not going to shift him with shots.
In fact, we saw Oscar De La Hoya holding on to the bigger opponent. That's something we almost never saw in his other fights leading up to this.
Now Oscar right now seems to be just barely outboxing this guy. But see, he caught him with a nice clip at the end there. Series of punches here. And that very well, as we see the bell sound at round number 1. Big Dracula, the third man in the ring. De La Hoya in the white trunks, and in the black trunks is the world champion in the middleweight division, Felix Sturm. Sturm made a great account of himself, I thought, in the first round, and not a lot between the two of them. We gave it to De La Hoya because we thought perhaps the judges might be doing that, especially early in the fight, being as that they're all from the United States. Oscar landing a lot of leather on the gloves of Sturm, not any really clear blows. You know, it seems like Sturm is landing the clearer blows. I mean, he's a natural 160-pounder, and to me, he's causing De La Hoya more trouble than even in the Mosley fight, as far as I'm concerned.
He's backing him up, and he's got a good, stiff, hard jab and a nice right hand behind it. And he's punching with the confidence of a guy who knows that the opponent is coming into his weight class. Even though he's coming into De La Hoya's backyard from a popularity standpoint, Oscar De La Hoya is coming into Sturm's weight class. And he's fighting with that confidence of the bigger man.
Now, Oscar not really getting off that back foot and driving with his jab. And this guy is strong. He's landing his left hook. Oscar's got a bloody nose. Get the straight left right down the middle, right on top of the nose, his jab. And he gets the angle, the hook. Oscar comes back with more shoe shine punches than what we've seen him in other fights. You know, this is a big step up to 160 against a kid that's a legitimate 160. It looks to me, Dave, for all the life of me, that Sturm's punches are harder.
And he's muscling Oscar De La Hoya here, driving him back. We're not seeing the bend from the waist for Oscar De La Hoya. We're not seeing him spring into where he can throw that hook. It's what's happening to him is what he does to other fighters at the lower weight classes. He's being driven back.
Yeah, and he's not feigning at all. You know, a few fights ago when he was working with Gil Clancy and now working with Floyd Mayweather Sr., Floyd is a guy that likes to teach a lot of defense by feigning and getting up, but it's not working because he's not doing enough of it. And boy, Sturm looks to be a much bigger guy, doesn't he?
He does, and he's got Oscar De La Hoya in a straight line. You almost never see Oscar De La Hoya in a straight line. He's not moving laterally. He's coming right at Sturm and then being driven straight back. So because of what's happening, he is playing into the strengths of Sturm in this round, and we'll see if he's able to make an adjustment.
And that stiff jab again is going to cause Oscar problems all night tonight. And you know, he throws a jab stiff like that. He's got Oscar with a bloody nose. Now, you don't often see this Oscar missing as many punches as we saw on that fight. I think he threw 5 punches, missed them all. Continuing like this, in that Sturm is the first fighter I've seen that really looks stronger than Oscar. He's taller than Oscar, but Oscar has an inch advantage in reach, which really doesn't mean anything.
That's the first time I really recall seeing Oscar being overpowered throughout the course of an entire round.
This is going to be a fight where Oscar has to reach down, and he can do it. Remember, he's a master boxer. And this youngster hasn't faced anybody in this league, but he's handling it well to this point. The hook he can land the straight jab, and Oscar pouring with his punches more than what we've seen, especially the jab. Trying to get a clean shot at him. There's a good body shot, a decent body shot, but right back with that jab. There's a hard shot to the body that time by Oscar. Now, Oscar, of course, if he has to box this guy, which obviously that's the fight plan, he's going to have to try and break him down with body shots. But this is a younger kid. Forget Oscar's 31 now, 6 years older than Felix Sturm. And Oscar's had a lot of rounds with a lot of tough fighters. Digging body shots again, but it doesn't seem to shift Sturm at all. This is a strong kid. Uppercut, the quickness, you know, Sturm shows some nice quickness too with that jab.
And when De La Hoya landed 3 good shots on the inside, yeah, they're scoring punches, but they're not able to bully Felix Sturm. And as Sturm picks up on that, he'll continue to move forward in this fight, and that will create a stylistic choice for De La Hoya. Can he bounce up? Can he move side to side? Right now, he's trying to prove a point on the inside against Sturm.
Well, Sturm has proved one point, that he's landing heavier blows. Oscar might be landing more, but this guy can counter him when he goes to the body. Now, through the first 2 minutes of this round, I got Oscar slightly out in front in that he's landed more blows, but I still think Sturm has landed the heavier blows. So, I mean, how do you score these rounds? Jab through there. There's one thing that's clear to me. this is a very, very good fighter, Felix Sturm. But you know, if in fact he's going to win this fight, Sturm has got to win these close rounds. And Oscar made a nice explosion at the end of the first round to, I think, barely eke out the first round because it was dead even.
He's trying to do the same thing here too, get on the inside. There's a nice uppercut by Sturm. And again, Oscar in the straight line and not moving laterally.
This guy's giving him all kinds of problems. All right, the bell ends the third round. Now, Dave, there's a round, and that's why I gave Sturm that round, because not only that jab was wonderful in that round if you're a Sturm fan, but he's had some good power shots too. Oscar's had some really good body shots, but it's going to be tough. Anyway, we're in round number 4. I'm the Colonel Bob Sheridan with Dave Bud Tempo. In the white trunks is the challenger, Oscar De La Hoya, going for his 6th weight division, trying to become the world champion tonight at middleweight. And we showed you during the last round his shot as they want to get the trunks just perfect, tuck it in the string in the back. But we showed you Bernard Hopkins, who has a lot at stake, because the big money fight for him would be to fight Oscar De La Hoya. And if you talk to the people in the know, they're talking about sometime in mid-September, if De La Hoya can get by Sturm. And that's not automatic right now, although Oscar boxing very well here in round number 4. Dave, he doesn't have the power here at 160 that he had at 47.
No, he looked unbeatable at 147 pounds in much of his action. And when he moved up to 154, we saw a little bit of that transformation creep in where the power disappeared and he had to be a boxer. Even the fight he won the title against Castelleo, he had to be more of a thinking man's fighter in that one. Now you come up to 160 pounds and these punches have no effect to this point on Felix Sturm. But even though the power matchup is not the same, I think a big thing Oscar De La Hoya needs to master here that he's not is the movement. If you're going to be the smaller fighter coming up and be the quicker fighter, now you've got to use those quick feet, because he's not doing it and he is straight in front of Sturm.
And there's the other factor, I know he's not thinking about the scoring right now because he's having a very good first couple of minutes of this 4th round. But again, it's going to come down to how an individual judge thinks, unless somebody gets knocked down during the course of this. And certainly, Sturm has the power to drop Oscar. It remains to be seen whether Oscar has enough power at this weight to drop him. But a good boxing round for Oscar De La Hoya thus far. Soft jab, hard shot to the body. Sturm kind of misses with his half-right uppercut. Dracula, of course, warns Oscar about, he uses that left hand a lot of time to set up punches as a flipper. And Vic wants no part of that. Oscar touching him. See, we don't often see guys catching Oscar's jab. Closing seconds now of the 4th. And Oscar trying to finish strong in the 4th and steal this round if he has to. And he's done that. Here comes the bell to end the 4th round. So, all right, this is round number 5 from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's a hot June night outside, but inside here it's perfectly comfortable unless you're in the ring under the hot lights and working as hard as these two fighters are for you. Very close fight if you've just joined us through 4 rounds.
You're seeing Sturm looking at an opportunity here to beat an aging fighter. I mean, Oscar De La Hoya has been a pro now for 12 years.
I personally think Sturm is waiting too much. I know that he realizes it with a great master boxer in Oscar De La Hoya, but I think he's waiting too much. He's shown me that he has more power than Oscar, and this is what he should be doing. This is how he should be fighting. Pushing him back. He can land that right hand almost any time because Oscar's not catching the right hand. And when he allows Oscar to come into, again, what I call the kill zone, you know, Oscar's throwing, but he's not jabbing him off. He's just protecting himself with his elbows and his hands.
Now he has to time Oscar De La Hoya coming in and do some good work here, as he does right there with an uppercut.
Nice uppercut, but it's the right hand that he can land almost at will on Oscar. Oscar's got that left hand underneath his right elbow. He's very quick with it, but he's not holding Sturm off with it. Sturm comes in, counters with a nice jab of his own. There's the hard right hand from Felix Sturm, followed by the uppercut. Another solid one on the cheek of Oscar.
And there's that sort of crossover defense that Oscar De La Hoya has that he started to show in the Castillejo fight. Didn't seem to work much for him in that fight, and he got clipped with the right hand there and gets out of it. But he paid a price for it. It's not something that usually works for him. And again, the left hand is held down low. And we're seeing De La Hoya trying to not work his way in as much as we've seen in other fights, and he's getting hit on the way in.
Well, Oscar this last minute is trying to out-hustle Felix Sturm now to be sure he gets this round. Sturm has landed the heavier blows, but Oscar's landed more. And I think for Sturm, if he wants to win this and maintain his title, he's got to pick up the pace a little bit, because Oscar right now is out-hustling it. Nice shot by Sturm. And he's landed that about, I would say, 4 times in this round. But is it enough to give him the round? Closing seconds now of this, the 5th round. Oscar trying to hunt him down. A nice movement being showed by Felix Sturm from Cologne, Germany, fighting out of Hamburg. Nice round. And if he should upset Oscar, you'll hear a lot of them immediately. Here we go. This is round number 6 from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's Oscar De La Hoya in the white, in the black, Felix Sturm, the WBO middleweight champion of the world, in the black with a red trim. Oscar does what he did at the start of the last round. He goes in the body, trying to box him upstairs. Now he's starting to catch more of the leather and the jabs of Sturm.
And you take a look at Oscar De La Hoya coming up through the years, having won his first championship at 130 pounds. So now this is 30 pounds heavier than that first title, and he's at about that spot where guys level off. We saw the leveling off for him begin at 154, and here at 160, we don't see the reflexes we've seen from Oscar De La Hoya in other fights. We don't see the movement. We see intelligence, but a few years older now, it's not coming to him as easily, and he is laboring in this weight class, in this fight.
It certainly is, Dave. And remember, he's 31 now. When he won the 130-pound title, he was just 21. So 10 years later, 30 pounds heavier. You know, it's a natural progression to grow. But again, Felix Sturm is a natural 160-pounder. He's been here for a while, even though he's younger and hasn't fought as many really good fighters. But, you know, you can discount all of that right now, because this is a fight. Not a lot between him here again in the 6th round. And that's what I said. Remember the very outside of the show, I said, you got to win the close rounds, but every single round has been close.
Yes, and then it's a definition of whether you like the heavier shots of Sturm right now or the volume of De La Hoya. Usually the heavier, cleaner punching wins, but not always.
Again, Oscar's the type of guy that, you know, catches your eye. You're watching him, and then when Sturm does something dramatic, you say, hey, wow, look at that. And that's the way I expect the judges are watching this fight, too. The other thing, in rounds that are this close, we have a lot more than to just concentrate on the scoring. So, you know, again, Davey and I are only giving an indication of the way we see it and what we think the judges might be doing. But this is a very good and very close fight. Sturm misses with the uppercut, and he kind of pushed that right uppercut out there. He didn't have the hand turned over. Actually, it came up as a 45-degree angle. Oscar's done a nice job to the body. 15 seconds to go. See if Oscar does what he's done in a couple of rounds and try to steal it at the very end. You get the idea. You see the adrenaline flow. Sturm moving back and forth, goes with the right hand lead, up on his toes now. Just as easily, 58-57 Sturm. That's how close each one of these rounds are. All right, here we go. This is round number 7. Colonel Bob Sheridan here along with Dave Bontempo. You're watching Oscar De La Hoya against the WBO middleweight champion of the world. Felix Sturm was making a fine account of himself here, and Oscar doing a terrific job boxing. I've said, Dave, you know, Sturm coming into Las Vegas, he's just got to get busier, because if there's any difference in the fight at all, Oscar's out hustling him a little bit.
And if you get lulled to sleep in terms of the pace of the fight, you'll find out it goes against you. There's the good hook of Sturm. He's got the power on the inside. Still a little surprised that we don't see more lateral movement by Oscar De La Hoya to try to draw Sturm into some shoulder turns and create some angles for himself. And maybe on these 31-year-old legs, he can't do it to the same level we have seen him in other fights, because we've seen more flat-footed, straight-ahead action by De La Hoya here than throughout much of his career.
You know, there must be some concern, because Oscar's felt this guy's power. Oscar just flat out hustling him in this round. I've expected to see Sturm, and if I were in his corner, I'd say, why don't you just explode for a 30-second flurry and let it go, see if you can catch him and knock this guy out. But so far, we haven't seen that. We're in the 7th round. Especially
if it works stylistically for him with De La Hoya in front of him. There was a good left hook to the body by Oscar De La Hoya.
But what I'm talking about, Dave, is just use your power. Just explode for 30 seconds and test it. You got right hand through there, glancing blow with the left. Oscar pushed away the left that time. But he's not really, it's like he needs to get something to just ignite him, to get him going.
A wake-up call.
Yeah, a wake-up call. Good. But meanwhile, he may be outboxing Oscar. Oscar's boxing very well, but again, the heavy punches are being landed by Felix Sturm in round number 7. Oscar's trying to dictate the flow of this fight, trying to back off Sturm, but Sturm, like Oscar, picks his shots when he wants to come in. So even in that category, I don't see a lot of, Sturm is fighting the fight he wants to fight, and Oscar's fighting the fight he wants to fight.
They go back and forth, no real ring generalship, whereas one guy is making the other guy do what he wants. They're both trying to get a grasp on what they do well, and there's an ebb and flow to it. A little bit of momentum for one guy, and then a little momentum for the other. Right now, the perception is De La Hoya pressuring Sturm, but is that effective? That's what we're going to find out over the course of time.
And again, Sturm is doing too much fiddling and diddling as far as I'm concerned. And there's huge ramifications in this fight, because Bernard Hopkins and Oscar De La Hoya, multi-million dollar fight.
And Felix Sturm is somebody that they would have to build up on terms of international and create the rivalry. But that rivalry already exists for De La Hoya and Hopkins.
He can go back to Germany and continue to fight all the guys he wants over there and make money, but not to the magnitude if he knocks off Oscar De La Hoya. It would be huge as the hook's getting through, the jab getting through. He is turning it up a little bit in this round. Number 8 is Felix Sturm. I've got unofficially De La Hoya out in front by a couple of rounds, but it could just as easily, folks, believe me, be a couple of rounds in favor of Felix Sturm. So all the perception of the judges on the hustle of De La Hoya, does it offset the power of Sturm? Depends on how you look at it. Professional boxing is about the hurt business, so perhaps they think the power of Sturm is more important than all of the nice boxing that Oscar's doing. He's got a home for that right hand. He's had it there all night, but he just does, why doesn't Sturm just go boom, boom, boom with 4 or 5 right hands and try to really overpower Oscar?
Or even throw a double jab and a right hand behind that, set it up and go for the complete flurry. If it gets into a boxing scenario, he's giving Oscar De La Hoya a better chance to out-hustle him, as he wants to maintain close proximity to land the right hand. But the multiple right hands, how about a hook to the body and then a right hand? See him get into his power zone. But we've also mentioned here, he is not a big puncher as middleweights go. The 9 knockouts in the 20 fights. He's a bit more of a scientific fighter, despite a body that would suggest to you that he would be a more powerful puncher.
And with that said, Oscar's fighting a brilliant fight against this bigger guy. As with a minute to go, this round is for anybody. I'm leaning towards Sturm right now because of the power, but Oscar's boxed it brilliantly. So again, it's going to be split in the judges' scorecard. Now, you folks can decide for yourself. We'll just describe the action for you now. Light right hand to the body, Sturm moving away. Oscar, since about the second or third round, has been the guy coming on all the time. And Sturm trying to move away. Good body shots by Oscar De La Hoya.
Watch that shoulder.
17, 16, 15 seconds to go now in round 8. A nice hook that time by Felix Sturm. This is another round, Dave, as we come up to the 8th round. The heavier blows definitely landed by Sturm. I'm working that corner. I got to tell him, hey, you have got to juice it up here. Go after him for that 30 seconds and let it fly, and then box with him.
Why let it be a matter of perception? This is one that is going back and forth, whether it's the power the judges want or the volume the judges want. If you're the power puncher, that's what you can't give away. You can turn that on for spurts in a fight. And also, if you find yourself in here on the other guy's home turf, the crowd has been somewhat subdued. You should be happy about that you have quieted a rabid De La Hoya crowd. Now step it up a notch. These are the championship rounds coming up.
But he's not. He's back to fighting the same way he's fought the entire fight. And Oscar's doing the same thing, too. So Oscar has stolen at least a couple of the close rounds. Otherwise, everything is dead even. Again, you're measuring the power against the boxing of Oscar. Right now, in this first minute, Oscar's landed more punches, and this other guy, Sturm, has landed several. When I say several, I'm really talking 2 or 3 much heavier blows. So,
three nice left hooks by Sturm.
And his jab is terrific. No body shots by Sturm to speak of. He's head hunting.
And where's the combinations?
That's another thing. When he lands a good shot, he stops, especially the right hand. He doesn't come back. Oscar, even though his punches aren't as effective, when he throws and lands a good punch, he continues to throw. He's a master boxer. Sturm, for 25 years old, a very, very good boxer. But, man, like you said, Dave, coming to this guy's backyard, if you're going to leave it in the judge's hands, you could be disappointed.
Meantime, in this last minute, 6 unanswered, now 7 by Sturm, as he landed a couple power shots and then the jab. As Oscar De La Hoya studying the situation, and Sturm able to move and pop him.
50 seconds to go. Oscar continues to bang the body of Felix Sturm, making him miss now. And there he is using that flip again that Vic has warned him about. "30 seconds to go in the 9th round. Just like the last rounds. More punches thrown by Oscar. He's landing them nicely. I would give him the round, but the other judges, or the official judges, could easily give this round to Sturm. Easily.
The second minute he owned, but that's only one fraction of the round.
All right, we're coming up to the end of round number 9 in what, again, is a very, very close round. You folks do your own judging. Here comes the bell. All right, so we're all set for round number 10. Davey boy, I look down at my score sheet. I've got it 86-86. And I expect some of the judges would have it at least that close. This is anybody's fight right now as we go to this 10th, 11th, and 12th round. As we all know, it's championship time.
And one of the sagas as we watch this is the stylistic choice we've talked about throughout the fight by Oscar De La Hoya not to be moving to his left, to stay in front of Sturm and make it stylistically desirable for the heavier puncher. Now, we've seen De La Hoya in so many fights in his career move time guys, lure them into mistakes, do all the homework before he gets in. And here, as a middleweight standing straight in front of Sturm, he is taking more leather and setting fewer traps.
Minute gone here, typical of the rest of the fight. Not a lot between them in the first minute of the 10th round. And this is a round, as I've said throughout the fight, that Sturm, let it fly, son. Let it fly. Oscar and truly is outboxing him, but the heavier blows are being landed by Sturm. And there's been no knockdowns. There's been nobody shaken. Nobody's going to be knocked out in this fight. So let it fly. It's the only hope that Sturm has, I think, to win this fight.
And now as you watch Sturm try to land a couple short shots, which he does, and Oscar De La Hoya tie up, which we almost never saw before this fight, is by not moving, Oscar De La Hoya is paying for that with these short shots that Sturm is getting in. If he's bouncing, if he's moving left, if he's showing angles for Sturm, now Sturm can't just walk in and trade with him. But he's given the luxury to do that.
Oscar finally threw, and we're in the 10th round, what I would call a real hard right hand. You know, the same thing could be true for him if this fight is as close as I think it is. Let it fly yourself. Now, maybe he doesn't want to get exposed to a 160-pounder by taking a chance, but it's at the stage now where somebody has got to turn it up just a notch to win some convincing rounds here at the end. Oscar showing the hand speed again, but most of those punches blocked on the back of the gloves of Felix Sturm. Now both guys seem to want to turn it up a notch in the last 30 seconds of this, the 10th round. This is the same way as every other round of this fight has been. Seesaw back and forth, power of Sturm, the boxing of Oscar. And Oscar uses that flipper again in that shoulder. Nice jab by Felix Sturm. It's championship time now as we go to the 11th round. I'm the Colonel Bob Sheridan with Dave Bontempo, and this has been a terrific fight. If you like a chess match, if you want to evaluate power or speed, either guy could be winning this fight. It's that close.
And the back and forth aspect continues to a new level in round 11 as Sturm comes out as a lefty.
That's a big mistake because he's going to lose his power and he's not going to be as accurate.
And that will open up a right-hand lead for Oscar De La Hoya. Double left hook. For Sturm, it enables the left hand to be more of a power hand than a jab, as De La Hoya will try to trade with him here and get in front. There's some good work by De La Hoya and a clean shot by Sturm.
But Sturm's also missing in shots. He's got that nice snapping left hand coming down, but that should be his power shot from the other side. Still continues to fight as a southpaw and gets the left hand down the middle, which is the way you beat an orthodox fighter, but he's missing as many as he's hitting. Oscar De La Hoya not confused by it.
No, but looking tired, not capitalizing as much as he could on his stylistic change. It's interesting to see him in a fight where he's not the stronger guy.
Yeah, but
he
he's
looks
fought
vulnerable.
Yeah, he looks vulnerable, Dave, but he's fought brilliantly. His Sturm continues to fight as a southpaw, so he doesn't have the power with the left hand that he would have if he were throwing rights, if he were fighting orthodox. I hate to see guys do this at this level because, I mean, he's giving away power. He's going to get hit more. He is landing a few of those left hands, but he doesn't have the power in the left hand that he would be if he were jabbing with his left and throwing his right.
No, but if the power is at least enough where it's respectable and he makes them clear shots, he can go against the tide and win the round because he has been landing clear shots here on Oscar De La Hoya. Not powerful shots, but clean shots and clean, visible to the judges. Now for Oscar De La Hoya, it's a brilliant fight in terms of his heart. I don't think it's been a brilliant fight in terms of the style he's chosen, and that's going to be some of the post-fight discussion, I am sure.
Well, no matter what happens in this fight now, it'll be controversial because it's that close.
It's a matter of what you like when you're scoring fights.
26 seconds to go, 25, 24 seconds to go. And this the 11th round. So far, I like Sturm in this round. So, you know, as much as I criticize the guy switching to southpaw, it's been effective for him. And see, he is missing more punches, but Dave, you were right because he landed a lot of left hands down the middle. Here comes the bell to end the 11th round of a brilliant boxing match. There it is. All right, here we go with the 12th and final round. Both guys need this round to win the fight. Oscar opens up with his left hook. Continuing to fight as a southpaw is Felix Sturm. He has found a home with that left jab. Sturm lands the right hand. Oscar trying to be busier with the combination of punches, throwing a lot more. Here's Oscar, if he can sustain this, at least it looks good for the people scoring the fight.
He's probably relieved, even though Sturm was effective in the last round, that he's facing a different style. Sturm catches him with short, crisp shots on the inside after De La Hoya landed a host of inside shots. Yeah, but this is a situation for De La Hoya. You should be showing different looks. If you go inside and slug for a little while, then go outside. Move a little bit. If you get an edge in a particular time of the fight, keep it. Don't give it away by getting back inside.
I don't know. I agree with you, Dave. I don't know why he hasn't gone for more angles. But again, I have the feeling that he was concerned with the power because he felt it early in the fight. He's felt it on, I would say, between 3 and 6 occasions in every round. Other than that, he's outboxed Felix Sturm. Now we're midway through this last round. Not a lot between them again. I think Oscar's outboxed him. Sturm's starting to miss because he's fighting as a southpaw. He did much better in the last round when he was fresher with that left hand in the face of Oscar.
And here's one difference as they trade. De La Hoya landing 4 shots, even if half get in. He's throwing a good number. And Sturm, it's still 1 at a time. Maybe you'll see 2 within a couple seconds of each other, but not the volume that you're seeing from De La Hoya.
The crowd is coming to its feet. They've loved this fight. Neither fighter has been down. Nobody's been shaken. It's been a pure boxing match. It's been the power of Felix Sturm against the boxing of Oscar De La Hoya. Nobody's lost any points. It's been a clean fight throughout. And it's really too close for me to call. I'll give you my score at the end, but this thing could go either way. And no matter which way it goes, people are going to complain. And that's what happens when you leave it in the hands of the judges. And with 15 seconds to go, that's the way it's going to end. I think De La Hoya has won this last round and may just eke out the win inside of 10 seconds. People coming to their feet. The crowd is on its feet. There's De La Hoya. Look at this. Sturm thinks he's won the fight. The bell sounds.
Here at the MGM Grand, we go to the scorecards. All 3 judges, Mike Liena, Dave Moretti, and Paul Smith scored the bout 115 to 113 for the winner by unanimous decision and new WBO middleweight champion of the world, the pride of East LA, the Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya.
I don't think so.
This will be a clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Any questions, touch gloves, good luck.
All right, we're set to go. 10-point must scoring system. No standing 8 count. No 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved with the bell in any round. Only the referee can stop the fight. And remember, if there's any accidental headbutts, Dave and I will explain that to you as it becomes pertinent to the fight. Oscar De La Hoya now undefeated at 31-0 in the blue with the white trim to the left of your screen, and Tito Trinidad to the left of your screen now decked out in white. He's 35-0 with 30 knockouts. concerned, and don't forget Oscar has 25 knockouts in his 31 victories as well. With all the anticipation of this fight, a little cat and mouse in the early going here. Who's going to open up first? Who's going to land the first punch?
We talked about it at the very top that, you know, with this height and reach matchup, negating an edge for anybody, that we would see a tentative approach. These guys are going to look to see where their jab can land and what's the best spot to get that going, and then work into their attack.
Yeah, there's more going on in their heads than what we're seeing from their fists right now at this stage with 1 minute gone in the first round. Somebody will open up here soon to really test it. Tito's thrown more punches. He hasn't landed any punches. They've caught him in gloves by Oscar. Now Oscar tests his jab and Tito flicks it away, and then Oscar coming forward. In the first minute and 30 seconds gone in the fight, nothing between the two.
What Oscar did with his jab is he jabbed and stepped to the left, and that's what enabled him to get that punch in. A subtle shift on the angle for him.
He unleashes the hook, and it's not there. Remember, Tito is very quick on his feet as well. Oscar, you know, Tito Trinidad is very quick. Dave, you pointed out something in the early going. You know, this guy can get knocked down. When I'm talking about that, that's Tito Trinidad, but you know, he doesn't have a glass jaw. He can go down, but he pops up just as fast, and it always gives him an adrenaline flow.
Yeah, ask Anthony Stevens, Joy Boy Compass, Oba Carr. They were able to put him on the deck, and then he gets up. It's almost like an alarm clock. Okay, shifted to a different gear, and he's come back strong from those situations. And it's a combination in some cases where he can stand and still, in some cases in which he has gambled and got caught because he's an explosive offensive fighter.
You can see when Oscar does something offensively like he did there, the crowd comes to life. But in reality, this round to me is dead even. And if it's close at the end, we want to remember this round. A chance for Oscar. Oscar goes up. Tito lands a shot, and the bell ends round one. And the 100's outside, but it's very comfortable inside here with no humidity. Round number 2. The Colonel Bob Sheridan along with Dave Bontempo. Watching our international telecast from the Mandalay Bay Resort Casino here in Las Vegas. Tito Trinidad in the white trunks. Oscar's going to pick it up a pace. Don't let this guy, you know, try to take any early rounds, especially with that first round was so close. Tito trying to pump that jab. A lot of this stuff is being picked off by Oscar with the gloves.
Being picked off, but you know, the perception of aggression might be important in this kind of a fight. If there's nothing separating them, the guy getting off the mark first, even if his stuff is blocked, could get an edge.
Oscar got a little something through there as he doubled his jab, and Tito seems to be doing a nice job with his jab, and he throws a few right hands now. They're being partially blocked by Oscar De La Hoya. Now the crowd is favoring Oscar, so you know, you think of the close rounds that the judges could be swayed just a little bit. But these are experienced guys. Glenn Hamada, Jerry Roth, and Bob Logus. They've been around. And touch the chin of Tito Trinidad. Trinidad catches him up on the ear. A minute and 30 gone in the second round. Still not a lot to do, really.
No, you got De La Hoya trying to box and Trinidad trying to load up a little bit, but there's a good sharp jab by De La Hoya getting in. And he's moving to his left and creating the opening to score with his jab. Nice. That's working for him right now.
You're right, David. A nice counter left hook by Oscar. Bouncing side to side. Trinidad up on his toes right in front of him. Kind of dragging his right foot behind him coming in. And when you're doing that as opposed to what he's doing right now, now he's driving up the back foot. So, you know, you get the power into your jab, and instead he goes with the right hand. And when you're pushing that back foot forward, you get some serious power. He didn't quite catch the back of the glove. That looked a lot better from afar than from what we could see right here up at ringside. 29, 28, 27 seconds to go here in round number 2. And what has been a strategic fight to this point, early going. Trinidad in white, Oscar De La Hoya in blue. Again, pounding the glove.
These guys are trying to find out what's going to work for later in this fight.
Well, I think the heavier blows in this round, and there haven't been a lot of them, but I think they're landed by Oscar De La Hoya in this last 10 seconds just before the bell. All right, so we're coming up to round number 3 at Mandalay Bay. This is co-sponsored by the Paris Las Vegas Hotel as well. It's such a big fight. People scalping tickets. It's you know, it's like a World Series of Super Bowl with these two undefeated, very popular fighters.
Casinos love these kind of fights. They get on the map internationally. They tell their high rollers that they're serious about sports and about gaming. It's one of boxing's big appeals. As you mentioned, the two casinos sponsor it. This has been something that has electrified the entire city.
It means a lot of money to the city, and you know, in recent years, Las Vegas really has become the boxing capital of the world. They're taken away from the, you know, the mid 40s and 50s, where New York, Philadelphia, then later in the 60s, Miami became big, and then with the oncoming of Muhammad Ali, the world was the scene. But Las Vegas is where the action is now in boxing, and they can stage it. They can handle thousands and thousands of people. The action continues a lot here in round 3, like it started in rounds 1 and 2. One guy will get something through. Crowd getting a little antsy. Felix tries the left hook, taking the back of the gloves of Oscar De La Hoya.
These guys are trying to work, experiment to see what is the strategy that's going to work over the course of the fight. They're relaxed. They know they can settle in. They know it's a long fight. And each guy is trying to get comfortable. Trinidad is trying to find a range for that right hand. He wants to drill that home. And De La Hoya wants to be comfortable with the movement and pop the jab in and there he squares up. And these guys are seeing what is going to be the best ticket. And then you get the sense they will settle in and do what got them here.
And try to pull the trigger against a guy that has equal speed and equal size. Now Trinidad is taking more than he's landing. This is developing a pretty good round so far, even though those punches were short for Oscar De La Hoya. Trinidad in the white, Oscar De La Hoya in the blue trunks. Look at the size of the legs of both of these men, and that's where they generate the power. I don't know about the cap there. They generate a lot of power. Nothing landed, but as you say, for the judges to see that aggressiveness, it's supposed to be effective aggressiveness, but with as few punches, really clean punches that have landed in the 3rd round, Oscar is on his way to winning this round.
If it's a tie, then it's the perception of aggression.
And just like at the end of the 2nd round, Oscar landed a combination there as the bell ends the 3rd round. So both corners, David, are pleased with what they see so far. These are very, very close rounds, and just barely, I think Oscar edged out Tito in the 2nd and 3rd round. But you know, you talked about it back in the 1st round where I put 10-10 down. I mean, all those rounds could be either way.
Yeah, there's not much separating them because we also talked at the top about the mirror image style for these guys. They're both trying to get off first with the jab. They both have the same method of trying to get inside. And it's really going to be the guy more comfortable with a secondary plan of attack who will get the edge in this fight. So they both want the jab first. And then one guy's going to say, well, maybe I'll try the right hand first. Maybe I'll try to go to the body first and see what works.
Now this is the jab. It's not getting through off the hands of Tito Trinidad. And De La Hoya is able to touch him up. They're light jabs, but that one was a pretty stiff jab. Tito gets his through. So Oscar continues to bounce left, and then he plants and stops. And when he does, look at the way Tito Trinidad attacked. So Oscar better keep on the move, because when he stops and plants, Trinidad's right on top of him. And it's Oscar that's kind of the ring general. He's the one that bounces left, bounces right, Tito just keeps coming after him.
But yet there's nothing getting in. So you can bounce. You have to bounce and you have to get close. And that's where the gamble part of this fight will be.
Well, you know, we talked about the fact that Tito can be knocked down, and in a close fight, I'm sure that he does not want to have to recover from a knockdown and have to pick up a couple of points because everything is so close so far. So he's showing a little bit, I think he's showing caution early here in the fight because I've seen him, you know, open up very fast. He knocked out a lot of guys in the first couple of rounds of fights. He starts fast, but against De La Hoya, he's just cruising.
Not only a close fight, but a close to the vest fight. We are not seeing these guys unleash here, whether it's too much mutual respect or stylistic similarity.
Well, of course, the fans want to see guys get knocked down and rolling around in the ring and that sort of thing. But in reality, this is a great prize fight. These are two very, very good boxers. And I think it's difficult for the people, especially seated here at Mandalay Bay, if they're seated way up, to really appreciate how good the boxing is here.
Well, one thing you'll never see up in row 30, you'll never hear two guys talk about ring generalship.
That's right. That's right. And as a matter of fact, if you're, you know, you're more than 10 or 12 rows back, even half the press, because there's so much here, can't really see this fight the way we see it here in the front row. Nice chopping right hand by Tito Trinidad that time. Missing wild with the right hand, and there's the bell. All right, we'll see as we continue on to round 5. The Colonel Bob Sheridan here with Dave Bontempo. Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, Las Vegas, Nevada. The WBC and IBF welterweight championships of the world at stake. That's the 147-pound division, with two of the very best in the world doing battle here. Tito Trinidad in the white trunks, undefeated with 35 victories and 30 knockouts. De La Hoya in blue, undefeated with 31 victories and 25 knockouts. Even their records are close.
There is a lot of similarity, guys at the height of their career. And they are in a chess match type of a fight. You're waiting to see who's going to make the big gamble into a secondary style to break up that tie. We're seeing right hand leads from De La Hoya, which is an unusual tactic, but it's worked for him because it's unusual. And we see Trinidad trying to load up on some power shots and finding that De La Hoya is elusive.
Boy, their positioning, they're really aware of the power of their opponent, because when they close, they're throwing. But Tito with that left hook, although he goes with the right hand lead that time. Oscar very well able to parry punches off with his right hand, and hasn't taken a full, really heavy shot from Tito as yet. And Oscar with halfway through this 5th round, trying to land something heavy on Tito Trinidad as Tito continues to try to cut him off in the corners. Tito lets the right hand fly. Oscar needs to throw more right hands as well.
And he can try to do that if he captures Trinidad moving and switching as he's trying to cut off the ring. Then that right hand will be there, and he's throwing it as a lead punch, almost as if he was a lefty.
Well, that time Oscar really loaded up, missed with the left hook, got the straight right hand down the middle. Tito continues to plod forward. He made the mistake of coming in the time before without throwing when he came forward. You got to be quick, and they are quick, and that's why this is such a terrific boxing match. And like I say, for people seated back afar, it may not be as good, but for you folks watching on television, if you want to see a boxing match, you're watching a classic right now. Dipsy doodle to the left, ducks underneath the right. Tito wants to land the right hand, he does, but Oscar pulls his cheek, and most of that punch is slipped. Closing seconds now of the 5th round. Another very close round that Oscar just might be stealing right now. That's the way I have it. I didn't give him outright the 1st or the 4th round, but he hasn't got less than 10 points in any round in my score sheet, so I expect the way the judges may be seeing this fight that they're around where we are. I know all three of these judges pretty well, and I'm usually close. But hey, it still doesn't mean anything because this fight has a long way to go. We're in the 6th round. Oscar getting off pretty good now here in the 6th. Up on his toes, powering with that left hand. Tito tries to get his through. Tito wants to throw more right hands from his corner.
De La Hoya wants to sit down more on his punches, but he's still a little bit too far away to get the power shot in. Studying, he's trying to get close enough to put more into his attack.
That blood on the trunks of Tito Trinidad is from the bloody nose that he's had going back in the 2nd round. Nothing significant because his dad knows exactly how to keep it closed up, and that's just the blood that has dripped down onto the trunks. Makes the fighter look very courageous. Over a minute gone here in the 6th round. Tito trying to really do something that he can grab around definitively. He hasn't had a definitive round in my way of thinking yet. Now he lands the right hand to the left side of the head of Oscar. Oscar comes back with the jabs.
Doubled up and then scored with the right hand. And De La Hoya luring Trinidad to him and then scoring here. He's in a stylistic groove at this moment. He waits and then he scores.
Look at the footwork of Oscar De La Hoya as opposed to Felix, who has the wide stance and pushes off the back foot and gets his power from that.
De La Hoya is using the footwork to set up his offense here. Moving laterally, finding an angle, actually creating an angle for himself, and then trying to score. And you have to be in a superb condition to do that. To use your footwork is only the first half of your strategy.
As De La Hoya is actually touching up Trinidad more in this round as well. So at this stage with 30 seconds to go, I get De La Hoya out in front, then he bangs him on the left ear, shoe shines him. Nothing big, but as you say, Dave, decent left hook from Tito Trinidad, as you say, you know, it captures the judges. And even that, although the punches looked a little bit short to me, Oscar's doing more, he's more flamboyant. And the perception is he's scoring a lot more punches.
He's getting closer. That was an excellent round for De La Hoya.
Yeah, Tito landed a pretty good shot there, but then there's a bell. That's a De La Hoya round. All right, we're coming up to the 7th round here at Mandalay Bay. I'm the Colonel Bob Sheridan with Dave Bontempo. I don't know where you are watching this around the world, but I'll tell you, Davey and I are loving it here. De La Hoya in the blue trunks, and in the white is Felix Trinidad. We're looking for Trinidad to turn it up a notch now. A lot of close rounds in the fight, but we can be definitive about 3 or 4 for Oscar. This is one of the few body shots that Trinidad has gone to. Oscar continues to be the guy in the move, sliding to his left and back to his right, letting his hands go. Felix tries to land the right hand. You know something, Felix looks a little frustrated right now to me.
Yeah, he's trying to cut off the ring. He's coming up just a little bit short. De La Hoya has been just a little bit quicker after Trinidad gets to a point where he should punch. He is following Oscar now.
You know, the way the crowd reacts every once in a while, you know, they sound almost like they're disappointed because these guys aren't flying around and landing a lot of flush shots. But, you know, if you're boxing purists, you love this fight.
The boxing purists love it, and the contrast is the way the tickets were sold and the way the advertising went and the way the marketing went. You thought it was 2 warriors with big knockout records, and they're going to mix it up in the middle of the ring. And that is what the boxing fan always believes he's getting when he either buys the fight or goes to the fight. And so that's why you put on a boxing clinic to that person isn't happy. On the other hand, people who appreciate the throwback fighters and the skill levels and the boxing and the moving do like the fight.
As opposed to a Ron Lyle, George Foreman fight that took place about 10, 12 years ago, where they were down 10 or 12 times in the first couple of rounds of the fight.
And that is what the majority of the boxing fans want.
Well, the racing fans say they go to see good racing, but they really want to see a crash. And the same thing is true for boxing. But believe you me, folks, you're watching two classic, very good fighters do battle here in great shape, and there's no shortage of movement or work that these guys are doing here.
And it also brings up the idea of how the styles make the fights. And these guys, their style at this point is not compatible for a slugfest. These guys don't have much of a separation in their reach. And this is one that's going to have to be won with intelligence first, boxing second.
Well, Tito has been able to get his jab through more here in the 7th round. As I say that, Oscar gets off one. Those punches all missed. The crowd, of course, loves to see that. Actually, I think the heavier blows in this round have been landed by Tito Trinidad.
Yeah, the jab and getting closer.
Well, that was after the bell, but he was in the process of throwing a punch. But Oscar's not usually a guy that, you know, does that sort of thing, but I think he's frustrated by that now. Now De La Hoya wants to make a statement more than anything. So let's see as we go to the 8th round here in a very close fight. Again, very slightly I have De La Hoya out in front in this fight, and Tito had one of his best rounds of the fight, I think, in the last round. And he better put some more together if our scoring unofficially is accurate. Tito goes with that right hand lead again, trying to set this guy up for a power shot. Being held off by De La Hoya. De La Hoya is still cautious. He's well aware of the power of Felix Trinidad, and by this stage in the fight, although there haven't been a lot of heavy blows, he's felt the power of Trinidad. What Tito's trying to do is to catch Oscar when he's sliding back to his left with the right hand. Pretty good combination that time by Trinidad, and Trinidad blocks most of the stuff by Oscar. Nothing landed in that series of punches, and he's short. Well, that one, the last punch of the 3 or 4 he threw, just grazed the chin of Tito.
When you've watched many De La Hoya fights, you know that he gets inside and mixes it up, and you see the power coming through. And it's been rare for him to get to that position in this fight. When he's tried to get his power punches going, they've been so far outside that he's been coming up short. He needs to be about a half step closer to Trinidad to plant in there and get off his best shots if he wants some inside efficiency.
Good point, David. The other thing in that flurry just before that, he had the thumbs turned out and he trying to blast the body of Tito, and Mitch Halpern said, hey, keep the punches up. That time Tito was a little bit south of the border. Another close round, folks. Minute to go in round number 8. And what I would say is a classic boxing match. I like this, and the real purists of boxing like this, like yourself, Dave. I know you like this.
Yeah, the trainers like this because they said, hey, you're doing what you want, you're staying on the stick and all that. And the typical boxing fan is still waiting for something to happen, for one of these guys to separate.
And they may well see it, although it might not be till they're walking out when they can argue about who should have or who did win the fight if nobody goes down. There's a nice hook, one of the heavier punches by Tito Trinidad. Caught him again on the jaw, spun the head. You know, and it's just 1 or 2 punches like that that can be the difference. He caught him again on the jaw, was grazing, but at least he touched him up. 1 or 2 punches like that can make the difference. Now, Oscar tries to unload in the closing seconds, but in the last couple of rounds, he's been short with his punches. You know, Tito Trinidad does it, and Mitch Halpern says, hey, but it doesn't really tell you the story of the round. And I think that's one of those cases in that round. That was certainly the best series of flurries that Oscar had, but I, as a matter of fact, thought Trinidad had more in that round. And that's why I scored it the way I did. Round number 9. Tito Trinidad in the white, trying to pick up the pace in the last couple of rounds, and he has. Landed more clean shots. Oscar backs off, takes a light shot to the body.
And Trinidad blocks De La Hoya coming forward. Good body work here by De La Hoya, punctuated with a shot to the head.
Actually, in reality, that was a really good body shot by De La Hoya that time with a minute gone now here in the 9th round of this scheduled 12-round welterweight championship fight. 2 titles on the line. Oscar's WBC championship and Felix Trinidad's IBF championship.
And remember what we talked about at the top of the telecast, that for De La Hoya, very tall guy that he's facing, it's affected how he's launching his shots, where he's launching them from. He's starting from further out. Not always quite comfortable with where he is starting his attack. He's trying to figure out how to get inside the Trinidad reach.
Trinidad comes upstairs with that one, partially blocked on the gloves of Oscar De La Hoya. And this is just another one of those rounds. Is it too early to start talking about a possibility of a draw here, Dave?
No, not with the way the styles go back and forth here. De La Hoya coming out strong in this round, getting an edge, and now Trinidad closing the distance on him and starting to do some of the things he does best.
Landed one, missed one, and took a left hook from Trinidad. So again, flurries, exchanges, one guy then the other guy. Very few real power punches. "26 seconds to go." You know, even though, you know, Tito is the guy coming forward and showing that aggression, the ring generalship is being dictated by Oscar with his movement. So, you know, if you're going to score the judges on aggressiveness, it must be effective aggressiveness.
We'll talk a little bit more about that in the next round as a tiebreaker, too. Effective aggression, any kind of aggression is after that.
Well, if you only watch that replay, you'd give that round to Oscar De La Hoya. And that's how sometimes at home people say, well, you know, what are these announcers looking at? Because they're seeing the replays and say, oh, Trinidad wasn't even in it. But that's not the whole 3 minutes of the round. And again, the local networks here in the United States seem to be focusing on the good things that De La Hoya is doing. So I don't want to give you a misconception that Oscar's way out in front in this fight, although I think he is out in front. And his Tito coming on. And I know that Don Felix Trinidad has told his son, hey, you better get going. This thing is way too close right now.
And way too open to interpretation because of how these styles have gone back and forth. An interesting point you make about what replays you see. Yeah, this, if it's a different sport, you're seeing a highlight. It's an absolute scoring play based on rules of other sports. Here, like all of boxing scoring, it's an opinion. And you're seeing something good that De La Hoya did in the beginning of that round with his body shots. And Trinidad came on later.
And here in this round, too, almost midway through it, I think that Tito's landed heavier blows. And as Oscar started out, he threw a couple punches, and now Tito seems to be in a nice flow right here. Well, both of these guys are working. It's still a chess game. Look at that shot.
It's a question of how much De La Hoya can get to his left when he uses the footwork to set up his attack. If he doesn't get far enough to his left, then Trinidad is in perfect punching position and he scores. In other rounds, we've seen De La Hoya move more quickly and set the tempo of the fight. Here, we're seeing him not get quite as far, and that's why Trinidad is closer to him.
A couple of body shots that just catch you know, Trinidad on the cup or the side of the cup, and then Oscar lands a nice jab. He has that in the face of Tito. Elbow comes in and pushes Tito's head back. Oscar is very slick, as is Tito. Tito looks a little rambunctious right now, like he really wants to load up and try to land a definitive shot and try to say to judges, okay, give me this round.
And you sense how late the fight is. You sense how important all of these rounds are now. I mean, they're all equal, but you know, the window of opportunity is closing if you have to rally. For this round, he is in pursuit of Oscar De La Hoya and gets his best three-punch combination off in quite some time.
Well, with this flurry at the end, it's going to be hard not to give this round to Oscar. Good body shots. All right, here we go to the 11th round in a very close fight. Unofficially, I have Oscar slightly out in front of this fight, but don't forget, remember I said all the way back to the first round, remember I scored that even. If that went to Trinidad, we got a dead even fight.
And round 4 was pretty much like that too.
Pretty much like that. So
you've got 2 rounds that are real wild cards.
Yeah,
in
there
this
could be
fight.
a wild card in terms of. Just let me let the fans know that this is a very close fight, and can at this stage go either way with these 2 rounds to go.
And we're seeing Trinidad up in the face of De La Hoya early in the round for one of the few times in this fight.
Well, De La Hoya's opponent, more or less from what you heard, Dave, thinks they've got this fight in hand, and they probably don't want him to take too many risks. And on the other hand, Tito Trinidad's people have told him, you've got to win these last 2 rounds.
Yeah,
and Tito's fighting like that now.
We heard from De La Hoya's corner, no more rounds like this one. But good round for him last round. I was surprised to hear that from them after the performance he had given, because I didn't think he had taken too much of a risk in round 10. And he had done some pretty good offensive work.
I thought it was a terrific round for Oscar. This is round 11, though, and it's a different kettle of fish. Oscar not throwing as many punches, and Tito is landing many, many more. There's the chopping right hand. Oscar ties him up for one of the few times in the fight and lets Mitch help him do his work. Both guys hanging on, trying to get a breather. Now he calls timeout.
I say break, you step back. I understood. Keep this clean. Let's go. Go.
Mitch tells him, this is one of the good young referees in the world today, Mitch Halpern, giving stern instruction. When I tell you to step back, step back. Oscar gets that jab in the nose of Tito Trinidad with a minute to go. Trinidad with a digging body shot. The crowd gets so excited when Oscar does anything, but you know something? The heavier punches in this round are being landed by Tito Trinidad.
Well, De La Hoya looks like he's trying to buy time in this round, just get through the round. Sit on the lead with the implication coming from the corner last round, and Trinidad is doing all the work in this round.
And he's coming on just as his corner wanted to. Oscar, you know, just what you said, I just got that same feeling. Oscar turns it on, but, you know, those punches meant nothing. All wide punches to the lower elbows of Tito Trinidad. And Tito really hustling now, chasing him down, running after him. This is a very good 11th round, as far as I'm concerned, for Tito Trinidad. All shoe-shine punches, nothing tough taken there by Oscar De La Hoya. That's why rounds like this can be controversial. Meanwhile, Tito bangs him on the ear just before the bell. That's a Trinidad round.
How about this? I've got 1 point for De La Hoya also entering round 12, and you and I have had about 3 or 4 rounds different.
Yeah, and that's a good indication as we start the 12th and final round. We've come to the same score, but we followed different avenues to get here, and I expect the judges. Well, let's follow the 12th round and see who wins this and if it's a definitive round, and what effect it will have on the eventual scoring of the fight. Doesn't appear that either guy is going to get knocked out unless something really surprising happens here, because this has been more of a chess match of excellent boxing. Tito Trinidad backs off Oscar. Oscar's up on his toes again, but you know something, the way he's going back and back, it's like he's in survival mode. You mentioned that in the last round.
You know, he's taking the corner's advice. He said no more rounds like what happened at the 10th, and the 10th was an effective offensive round for De La Hoya.
I thought so. Oscar doing a lot of feigning. He's up on his toes. He's avoiding Tito Trinidad instead of engaging. There's a big right hand. Spun the head. And again.
See, now you take a guy out of his natural offensive flow when you put it in his head, or he buys into the idea of, I'm going to coast and just box. Now, when you want to turn up the offense, if you do, you can't. Even if you want to turn up the offense just to keep the other guy honest, you're not in that offensive flow anymore. You're in a survival, work the clock kind of a flow. And if you're going to feel that you have such a lead that you can do this, you have to be right about those early rounds. And they were so close, many of them, that you really can't afford to do that at this level of fighting.
Well, Oscar still has his feet, but the 3 heaviest blows that were landed in this round are off the hands of Tito Trinidad. The little tappity-tap sort of shots by Oscar. Tito's still trying to load up. You see that left hook? Oscar able to duck underneath it. Trying to get the jab out there, but really moving backward instead of engaging and trying to make sure he captures this final round.
Trinidad, with De La Hoya's help, has cut this ring into bit-sized pieces. Not only just cutting off the ring, other than what Oscar's doing now, but he's been right in front of De La Hoya, has had perfect opportunity to set up his office and go to work.
In a fight with very few definitive rounds, this has become a definitive round certainly for Felix Trinidad. And if the fight continues to go, unless Oscar can come up with some sort of flurry, this is a very definitive round for Trinidad. It could be the difference in the fight.
Very unusual to see. You've gotten to this stage, you're unbeaten, and to take your own aggression out of play in rounds 11 and 12 is unusual. It's not like you've been hurt in this fight.
Yeah.
It's not like you're trying to, you've got so much respect for the guy's power, he's hurt you. De La Hoya, at the height of his good work, stopped it. That's a Trinidad round.
Len Hamada scores the bout 114 to 114. He has it even. Bob Logis scores the bout 115 to 114. And Jerry Roth scores the bout 115 to 113 for the winner by majority decision. De Puerto Rico and the unified welterweight champion of the world, Felix Tito Trinidad.
Okay, Chief, seconds only. Oscar Darrell, center of the ring. All right, Darrell, Oscar, we're boxing for the IBA Welterweight Championship of the World. I expect a clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Shake hands, come out boxing at the bell. Good luck, 12 rounds.
So far, this has been the yada, 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 yada fight of the year, Jim. Let's see how they articulate in the more dangerous language they're about to engage in.
You mean the trash talking that's led up to the fight?
Yeah. I don't even know who he is. I'm going to KO him.
Oscar's got to get focused and remember who he is, and don't let the last fight define him. Just get out there and be yourself. Coley has got to win every round. If you wait around, you never get another chance.
So you're saying that Oscar has to avoid trying so hard to avoid the non-aggressive tag that he gets reckless in there and gives Coley more chances than he deserves.
Remember who you are and what you've got to do. You've always been a good fighter. That fight had nothing to do with who you are now. With Trinidad.
I've always felt the style that works for Oscar is boxer puncher. Start out boxing and look for opportunities to attack as he sets them up.
Oscar's done a little weightlifting this time, so he'll be able to get those hands out there no problem.
Leading with the left hook there. Coley is known as a guy who fights in spurts. Coley starts out firing punches up the middle. Jab and right hand. As the fight goes on, you might see him widen his arc to go for more power. When he widens his arc, he could be creating opportunities for De La Hoya to come up the middle.
Coley has a tendency to bend a little bit just before he jabs. And that's not the way you get the tall guy like Oscar De La Hoya. You got to stand up a little bit, then just go right on top of him for the jab.
It's De La Hoya who stalks Coley early in the fight. Coley looking to counter, wings a right hand shot, half off the shoulder, half off the side of the head. De La Hoya obviously working early to try to get his left hook into the mix. Generally his most damaging punch, although he said, I was astonished at how successful I was with the right hand in the early rounds against Felix Trinidad. I used to think my right hand was just there to look good. Now it's actually a weapon for me.
Coley is doing something pretty interesting for a guy who's supposed to be reluctant. He's not looking left and right. Keeps his eyes right on him, on Oscar De La Hoya, as though he's got a plan with that right hand. Just keeps it there. Coley. Coley is running, but his eyes are not running.
It's a restive crowd. They were quieted by the worry about Gamache when he went down so hard in the second round against Gatti. Then, of course, there was a bit of a delay getting the fighters into the ring for this fight. Now they begin to warm up just a little bit.
Coley showed some nice poise in the first round, this being his first major fight here in Madison Square Garden against a star.
Past CompuBox numbers would indicate that Coley is the busier of the two fighters. Generally throws more than 60 punches around. De La Hoya hovers between 50 and 55, and the pattern held in the first round as Oscar threw only 37 punches but landed 15. Coley threw 52 but landed only 7. De La Hoya missing with a right hand across the top there. Gets a little left hook in as Coley comes toward him, and then the more effective punch, the left hook to the body.
De La Hoya's got to be very cautious, you know. Some professionals get in the ring with amateurs and never get their rhythm together, and they get whipped. It's hard to fight below your talent.
Are you implying that Coley is an amateur, George?
But he's fighting maybe in the same kind of zone he was with Trinidad, and he's with a different kind of guy. You got to bring your level down sometimes.
De La Hoya misses over the top with the left hook, but lands a right and a left, and momentarily knocks Coley back on his heels.
Now the left jab from Oscar is starting to be a little more pinpoint accurate.
He only threw 9 jabs in the first round and landed only 2 by CompuBox numbers. Oscar stepping up the jab activity here in round 2. And again, clearly trying to set up the left hook.
You know, if you got a good left jab, you'll never be able to perform without it. He's got it, use it.
Coley becoming left hook conscious. Oscar fires a right cross. De La Hoya has landed 2 strafing left hooks to the body in this round. His 2 most effective punches here.
Now Oscar starts to bounce. He has to have a little bounce in his feet before he can accurately land punches. He hasn't been doing that. Now we see a little.
And you saw the body shot by Coley trying to retaliate, and De La Hoya comes back to the ribcage himself, setting up a clean right hand upstairs.
Look for the bounce in Oscar's feet, and then you'll find some accuracy and aggression.
And Coley is visibly dropping his guard, George.
Those body punches, they hurt. Left hook, right hand.
So already the pattern of the fight begins to change as Daryl Coley drops his guard to try to deal with Oscar De La Hoya's body punishment.
Now Coley is sticking out his left hand a little, tapping with it. You got to close that distance, so he's not even allowed to do that. Stay a little closer, Oscar should. At this point, he doesn't have the reach advantage. Coley does. Coley's better.
Good body shots by De La Hoya. Coley bouncing into a corner to get away. Round 2 has been a big one for De La Hoya. Coley has not been offensive in this round. The occasional counter, but by and large, it's been the De La Hoya body attack. Daryl Coley, in the weeks leading up to the fight, has been disparaging in his comments about Oscar De La Hoya's punching power. But just as Felix Trinidad's punch output went down in the first 6 rounds against De La Hoya, Coley's punch output begins to drop here. 52 thrown in the first round, only 40 in the second round, 6 landed, as De La Hoya landed 25 punches, most of them to the body.
But so far, De La Hoya is accomplishing his goal of dictating the fight, not adapting to what the opponent does. Let the opponent try to adapt to what he does.
If Alcazar can convince Oscar to focus on his prowess as a body puncher, I think it'll make him a more effective fighter.
Well, he's allowing Coley to get into his rhythm now. You don't want him to do that. You had him moving, you had him bouncing away. Keep it going like that.
A lead left hook by De La Hoya. And 2 more vicious left hooks to the body. This is Oscar the Destroyer at this moment. A far cry from the man who all but turned and ran in the closing rounds against Trinidad.
Good left jab, the best of the night. Once you push in and step forward with that weight, ooh, it hurts.
And Coley seems uncertain as to what it is he wants to try to counter. Coley trying to stick the jab through De La Hoya's guard. There, he commits to that one after simply pawing with the first 3.
Yeah, the rule is you go two jabs to the body, get the guy to drop his hand a little bit, and you come on top of the right hand.
There's a good left jab by
Coley is doing it with the jab. Jab low, left, low, low, and then come up high.
Oscar, for the moment, has stopped throwing punches. That allows Coley to begin to develop a rhythm with his left jab.
Oscar now should look for a little bounce in his legs again.
Hard left hook landed upstairs. Coley took it pretty well. Coley tries a right uppercut. De La Hoya backs away.
Good jab again. De La Hoya has the best left jab in boxing, no doubt about it.
Interesting statement.
No doubt about it. Left jab.
If that's the case, does he use it enough?
I think not. Tonight he's looking to get over a good left hook, and he's been successful. But get that jab in there, make that back hurt. Those guys start backing up because of that jab. After a while, you can just throw hooks easily.
Fiercest rally yet by Coley as he comes back against De La Hoya. Coley has thrown many more punches in the last minute and a half. De La Hoya taking a little bit of a breather. Ironically, a reported part of the fallout from the Trinidad fight, a better relationship between Oscar De La Hoya and his previously hypercritical, sometimes forbidding dad, Joel De La Hoya. Joel De La Hoya is said to have said to Oscar after the Trinidad fight, "I'm proud of you." None of Oscar's 31 victories ever produced that response. Now, supposedly, they are on much better terms than before as Joel takes his customary seat near the corner at ringside.
Now, Coley, what he's trying to do in his corner is told him, make Oscar go around to the left side and make him pick up his left foot and follow him step by step.
There's a hard right hand up the middle and a left hook by Coley, and De La Hoya momentarily stunned.
Now Coley shows his power and his willingness to exchange.
Coley on the offensive, De La Hoya not firing back. Coley looking for a knockout. 2 rounds earlier than he predicted. He said it would be in the 6th. De La Hoya ducking, getting out of the way. Coley doing all the firing here. Oscar De La Hoya is hurt. Daryl Coley caught him by surprise and landed the 1-2 sharply, and De La Hoya has not thrown a punch since. Now he goes back to work.
I think that Coley now has Oscar alert like he ought to be, but that's a good thing for Oscar. He's allowed him to waste some of that energy he had been conserving also. Make him punch some. He's getting paid. Make him throw some punches.
Hey, did these guys see the Barrera-Morales fight last week? Left hook lands for De La Hoya. Coley wobbling. Oscar goes to the body. Sets up a chance. Which fighter will get arm weary first?
Oscar's got to get back on the jab. You got him hurt, but keep him hurt with the jab.
Another minute to go in the round. Coley still wobbling, but now De La Hoya begins to rein in his offense after throwing a flurry of punches. Left hook to the body drives Coley back. Now Coley drives De La Hoya into the ropes.
Well, this is what Oscar wants. He wants a mismatch, toe-to-toe fight. He's got the power. He's got the knockouts. Let it be.
Tremendous give and take round. De La Hoya again lands the left hook, and Coley in trouble again. Tremendous excitement in Madison Square Garden. Oscar De La Hoya was in big trouble in the first half of this round and has come back to dominate the second half of the round.
Coley's got his right hand down. Oscar is the left hooker. You want to pick your right hand up and back away.
And De La Hoya not only survives, but prospers in a round in which he appeared to be in severe trouble. Reminiscent of the 5th round a week ago between Morales and Barrera, reminiscent of the famed 10th round of Bo Holyfield won November 13, 1992 in Las Vegas. One of those classic seesaw rounds. Coley still doesn't have his legs as De La Hoya begins the attack in round 5.
That was a slip. That was a slip. It's wet over in that corner.
Harold, how do you have it through 4?
Jim, 4-0, 40-36. Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar had him seriously hurt at the end of the 4th round. Darryl Coley boxed beautifully for 3 rounds, but Oscar pounded him to the body to win the first 3. Darryl tried to fight Oscar's fight. Did very well, but Oscar seriously hurt him.
I have it 3 rounds to 1. I gave the 3rd round to Coley.
And the crowd begins to settle back into their seats after the excitement of round 4.
That's what happened when you're pretty aggressive, but most of your punching is going to the other guy's body. He may open up on you here and there, but hey, it's going to take a lot out of him also. That's why the body punches are so important. Now Oscar's got to get out of his mind what happened in the last round. Concentrate on this round. Do it all over again. Set it up with a jab, right hand, and get that hook back.
When Oscar brings his jab and his left hook to the body, he dominates the flow of the fight. When he stops throwing punches and coasts, he gives Coley a chance, and Coley has been landing with some lead right hands.
Coley's right hand is almost equal with his left hand as far as down to his waist. It was low originally, but he seemed to get it even lower now. It's those body punches.
No question. The body punches changed Coley's stance and his approach in there. There's a solid left hook by De La Hoya. In close.
At this point, Oscar's better concentrate on, hey, this may be a decision. This guy has been abused before. And he wakes up, and he may take an abuse for 12 rounds.
Coley has a questionable chin. He was down 3 times against a fighter named Diggs. He was knocked out by Pat Coleman of San Diego, and that result was eventually voided because Coleman failed a drug test. So Darryl Coley has tasted the canvas in his career. De La Hoya has been down against lesser opponents early in his career, but not out. He's never been down at 147.
Well, yes,
excuse me, Ike Forte put him down.
And there was a kind of a half knockdown by Pernell Whitaker.
Yeah.
I thought I heard Darryl Coley say to his corner that he was having trouble seeing out of his right eye. That's the eye that has been in the way of De La Hoya's hook.
And there is swelling to the outside of Coley's right eye as round 6 arrives. This is the round in which Coley swore to us that he would knock De La Hoya out, saying that he had a repeated dream, a frequent dream in which he saw himself knocking De La Hoya out with a multitude of blows in this very round.
When he said he couldn't see out of one of his eyes, I wanted to tell him, welcome to boxing. A lot of us have to say, I can't see, period.
You mean it's not unusual during a fight, even for a short period of time, to have blurred vision, George?
Oh, yeah, especially if someone hit you with the end of a hook or a stiff jab right on the eye. I mean, it could be 2 or 3 rounds before you can stop seeing triples.
Darryl Coley hasn't gone to the De La Hoya body much. He tried it a couple of times moments ago. By and large, Coley pawing and trying to size up an opportunity in a round in which De La Hoya remains the aggressor and keeps going to the body.
This is when you start to hurt those thumbs. The guy goes back to the corner, thumbs are broken. When you get those shots and they go right to the elbow.
Coley with a free shot at De La Hoya's body. De La Hoya pops him back with a jab. When Oscar flurries to the body, Coley's hands come down very low.
Break. Let him go. Step back.
Sooner or later, you expect to see De La Hoya feint to the body and fire the left hook upstairs.
Yeah, it's going to happen with a soft right hand. Coley is just zeroed in on Oscar's right hand, so he can save all of that power stuff. Just kind of fake it a few times. As you said, do a little feinting. This is exactly what is needed, feinting.
One of the things Roy Jones does so well that sets him apart as a fighter, his ability to feint opponents into bad position.
Roy Jones got the best balance in any sport I've ever seen. Balance. Always on balance.
Cool.
Coley with a lead right hand.
Coley is now playing run and hit. He's really not trying to engage. He's trying to move away, occasionally jumping.
Hard left hook. Coley took that one pretty well, but De La Hoya thinks he's got him again. Back to the body goes Oscar. Daryl Coley will make it out of round 6, but he's taking a lot of punishment to do so. You saw the hint of blood around Daryl Coley's right eye. There's no obvious blood flow in the ring yet, but what you saw on the towel there indicates maybe there's a trace of blood around the right eye. De La Hoya landed that big left hook, George, by feinting to the body and then firing upstairs.
Yeah, you're going to have to do something with a pro like Coley. He's a pro.
There's a good right hand up underneath by Oscar De La Hoya, and he leads with the right here. Coley tries to counter back with the right.
Now there's that stiff jab. Oscar gets up on the back of his right foot and sort of just pitches it in there.
Oscar taking Coley's right hand as though he now believes he can handle Daryl's power.
Whenever Coley decides to stand up a little bit, Oscar just sticks that jab in like a ramming stick. He believes in it. It's like a weapon. He holds it out there.
And the right eye is swelling rapidly now for Coley. You can see that it's really beginning to close here. That could alter his will, and Coley is blowing his nose, which is the reason why it's swelling so fast.
Don't break the rule. Don't blow your nose.
That's a really bad eye. It's going to close if this fight goes another round or two.
And Oscar is not going to have any mercy anymore, so it may be up to his corner, Coley's corner, to decide this one.
That right eye of Coley is a bad way to face up against Oscar De La Hoya's vicious left hook. And De La Hoya doubles up with the left.
That was a time when De La Hoya would look to the referee and say, stop this, but not anymore. This guy has changed.
Well, if he listened to what Coley had to say about him in the past few weeks, he probably doesn't like him very much. Coley said to us, I hate him. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of his status, his money. I'm sick of all the celebration about him. He's going to be sicker about him if De La Hoya goes ahead and finishes what looks like a good start toward a TKO.
He's doing it all with a left hook. He jabs, and then double up, triple up on the left hooks. The right hand is in jail tonight. Coley is just weaving right away from him.
And now his nose is bleeding. And he really doesn't want to stand in there and trade with De La Hoya. He's taking one shot at a time.
Oh, and the body shots put Coley down. Two vicious body shots, one with each hand. Referee Wayne Kelly looking in on Coley. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want any more. And Oscar De La Hoya makes good on his vow. And as George said, it was an accumulation of blows, but that last left hook to the body sapped Coley of his remaining will and induced him to stay on his knee as referee Wayne Kelly counted him out. Make no mistake, Coley could have gotten up here if he had felt that he had a legitimate shot at winning the fight, but he didn't.
It was wise. Sometimes you don't want to tell your corner, hey, can you make them stop the fight?
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Wayne Kelly reaches the count of 10 in round number 7. The official time, exactly 3 minutes of round number 7. The winner, and now a 5-time world champion from East Los Angeles, the Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya.
Okay, we've both been here many times before. The rules and regulations still remain the same, and I will enforce them. Shake hands and good luck.
Steele, who refereed the great fight between Hagler and Hearns, who gave Chavez a victory, a controversial victory with 2 seconds to go when he stopped Meldrick Taylor. De La Hoya unbeaten in 28 so far, 23 by knockout, 4 world titles, charming, charismatic, glossy. Chavez is there one last vintage performance left from the Mexican legend in the red trunks here. De La Hoya was only 11 when Chavez won his first world championship in 1984.
Well, you can see the height and the reach advantage that De La Hoya has over Chavez. He's got to use that. The jab is the key for De La Hoya in this fight. It worked so well in the opening stages last time, and he'll need to get that on very quickly here.
The key for Chavez is whether he can find a way past that jab to get to work to the body. That's his usual game plan when he's at his very best, but he hasn't been at his very best for 3 or 4 years now. He needs to turn back the clock here, Chavez, to rediscover that relentless, fluent rhythm that he used to have when he was chalking up 90-odd wins over 13 years and 11 months and 14 days.
De La Hoya has talked about how badly he wants to make Chavez pay in this fight. He's got to be careful that he's not over-eager and makes mistakes.
Cautious start from De La Hoya, but he's often like this. He's put a little more emphasis on defense more latterly in his career. But there's the dazzling combination.
De La Hoya just falling short with that jab, hasn't quite got the range.
Got great speed as well, De La Hoya. He says himself that has been the key to a lot of his victories. Speed, power, lacerating punches from the outside. Tends to damage his opponents, as he did Chavez in the very first minute of their first meeting. Cuts must be a worry, Chavez. It's happening to him a lot in recent fights.
Well, they're both very cautious in this round.
All caught with a left hook on the way in, Chavez that time, as the action begins to warm up towards the end of the first round.
That's what Chavez has to be beware of. He can't be caught on the way in. He's got to have good head movement, use angles well, get to De La Hoya without being hit.
Can Chavez rediscover the old zest and sharpness as the bell goes to end the first in this great atmosphere? He said that this time he'd have a completely different plan, but can Chavez do anything differently? Had so much success just doing what he does so very, very well through his heyday years. Looked a bit low, the left hand from Chavez. Good right hand from Chavez there. And getting closer here to De La Hoya. This is where he wants to be.
De La Hoya not wanting to give ground, wanting to match Chavez, coming in, showing some blinding speed as Chavez did, but caught again with the right.
This is already better for Chavez than anything he did in the first fight. Just that little interlude of punching. He never got into the first battle. And this time, no facial damage for him.
And that's a couple of times that De La Hoya has been caught. He's just thinking too much, not letting his jab go. Doesn't seem as relaxed as the first time.
Very pro-Chavez crowd, except, of course, for the enormous army of female fans. Now, is there a cut for Chavez? Looks to be some kind of mark over the left eye. Nothing much at the moment. We'll try to get a closer look for you. De La Hoya spears that area with his jab. Oh, vicious punch. The uppercut from De La Hoya. Suddenly opening up here, the Golden Boy.
The speed is blinding from De La Hoya.
Well, a toe-to-toe showdown towards the end of the second.
De La Hoya more prepared to stand and trade with Chavez. Could that be a mistake?
Is he so emotionally involved that he's going to forget strategy, De La Hoya? You'd be surprised, really, on everything we've seen from him so far. Is there a bit of the macho man trying to get out here, you wonder?
Decent left hook from Chavez in close. Still De La Hoya doesn't want to give ground, wants to meet Chavez.
Caught him with a clubbing left hand there, De La Hoya. He's got great variety too. Uppercut and right cross, De La Hoya. Good round this already. Keep the punches up, says Richard Steele. It's getting better, this. De La Hoya, you sense, not just content to try and outbox Chavez from range, but showing that he can get the better of him too if it goes into a toe-to-toe brawl. Chavez trying to get in close again for his body shot, and a very low one. Doubled up in pain for a moment, De La Hoya. Snarls something across the ring at Chavez in Spanish. De La Hoya's okay. They touch gloves rather reluctantly. No point deduction that I saw for Chavez's low blow. But he's having to take a lot on the way in to try to get there for these body shots, Glenn.
Yes, he's really focused for this, De La Hoya. He looks angry in there. As Chavez comes at him, he lets these punches go in just blinding speed, really letting them go very fast.
De La Hoya not frightened to get involved, and look at his hand speed. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Excellent combinations from De La Hoya as Chavez comes forward.
Left hook though from Chavez, and De La Hoya shows the quality of his chin. He has been down a couple of times in his career, both times getting up to win early on in his career, those knockdowns. Chavez might not be entirely discouraged that De La Hoya is trying to do this with him.
I don't think he will. I think really that's probably the best thing that could happen for Chavez. De La Hoya is standing and fighting, and that will suit Chavez.
The only time in 104 fights that Chavez has failed to go the distance was when De La Hoya stopped him on the cuts last time. Been a flood of money for De La Hoya to win on points here. Oh, left hook, looked a damaging shot, then a body punch from De La Hoya, who looks quite clinical at the moment.
De La Hoya getting his hooks off very sharp, but I'd like to see more of the jab. A key in the first fight that really was the punch that did all the work, and he hasn't used it as well in this fight.
Oh, again, that speed of punch from De La Hoya. Chavez never had a hope of slipping it. Oh, but he catches him. Chavez just spun him round momentarily right at the end of the round. De La Hoya, who says he wants to end up with 7 world titles in different weight divisions. That would take him up to super middleweight. Here's round 4, the blue and white half trunks of Oscar De La Hoya, the 25-year-old from East Los Angeles, Mexican-American, with the crossover appeal culturally in the United States to both sections of the community. Chavez, the legend from Mexico, 18 years a pro. It's a better fight than the first one, isn't it?
A much better fight. But I think really De La Hoya is not doing it as well as the first fight. He boxed very well behind the jab. He gave Chavez more respect. This time he's standing with him. He's prepared to fight, and he's been caught because of that.
Right hand, Chavez, despite the reach disadvantage. Maybe De La Hoya's corner have been telling him not to get quite so involved and use that jab. Oh, one from Chavez, but 2 back with blinding speed from De La Hoya. Picks him up again with the right hand. It sends the sweat spraying under the arc lights.
This is better now from De La Hoya, starting to get into range, use the jab better, look for fast combinations.
Big chance of Chavez. Chavez from the Mexicans here in the sellout 18,000 crowd. Among those judging it here, among the 3 judges, John Keane from Northampton. Big appointment for him. Looks a magnificent athlete, doesn't he, De La Hoya?
Yes, he really does. He's a thinking athlete, beautifully prepared, very, very professional in his approach.
Oh, combinations to the body this time.
Now this is much more De La Hoya. Just a little bounce on the toes, getting the jab working, looking for fast combinations behind the jab.
Chavez having the occasional success, but De La Hoya looking the boss at the moment. The cut is holding up okay for Chavez, unlike the first fight. De La Hoya's round.
That time giving it everything for De La Hoya.
I gave Chavez a share of the opening round. Here's round 5 for the WBC Welterweight Championship held by De La Hoya. Cesar Chavez as the challenger. This time when they fought before, it was at light welterweight and Chavez was champion, and De La Hoya was looking to take that title from him, which he did, of course. They were telling De La Hoya in the corner, just a bit more lateral movement and keep on working with that jab.
Yes, that's when he's at his best, when he gets his work behind the jab. There you're seeing the skills just on the back foot. Chavez, on the other hand, has got to try and use good movement of the head, get into his rhythm, cut the ring off and put constant pressure on De La Hoya.
It was a brilliant piece of skill just there by De La Hoya as he slipped backwards as Chavez lunged towards him, slipped to the side and caught him with a punch. All in one movement, it seemed. And Chavez getting there with the jab. Interesting. Chavez just being made to look a little at one pace by comparison. But this is a little bit like the old Julio Cesar, isn't it? He's stepping forward and letting the punches flow.
Yes, he's got to try and keep a constant pressure on De La Hoya. When De La Hoya has the space, he can let the combinations go, and they're very, very eye-catching.
Great jab from Chavez. This is better from him in round 5.
Nice short left hook from De La Hoya just after the jab. But really, De La Hoya shouldn't be getting caught from jabs from Chavez. He's got much more height and reach, much the better boxer.
Chavez hunting his man down, stepping in, ripping in the odd body shot. That's his game. When he's doing that, like that, there are signs of optimism. This is as well as Chavez has fought in a long time.
This is a better round for Chavez. He's just managing to block the punches, getting through with his own good body shots.
And De La Hoya being drawn into battle at the end of the round, a round I think that Chavez just might have nicked.
So this is a much different fight from the first one.
Round 6. Looking to step up the tempo, you sense, Chavez, in this middle section of the fight. It's a much, much tougher fight for De La Hoya than many people thought beforehand.
Well, I think we'll get a test of the character of De La Hoya in this fight, because Chavez is very well prepared for this. Growing in confidence, landing again with that jab.
Little nod there from De La Hoya as Chavez got in with a body shot. Julio, Julio, Julio. Chant the crowd here. A lot of sentimental attachment to Chavez and everything that he's done.
Well, can Chavez turn back the clock to the excellent performances, the like of when he beat Edwin Rosario, which was really boxing at its very best?
Look at De La Hoya looking to prove his strength, just shouldering Chavez away from him and clipping him with a right cross.
He's got to be careful about the shouldering. He's been warned a couple of times from Richard Steele. He still carries on doing that.
It's becoming quite a grueling battle, this. Here's a real test of De La Hoya's bottle and guts.
Well, I don't think the trainers of De La Hoya will be happy with their man in this round. He's standing too much, trading with Chavez.
Yeah, maybe in his head he reckons that Chavez is an old man and he'll wear him down this way. Looked another lowish one from Chavez. Keep them up, says Richard Steele.
Chavez is doing well in this round. He's getting his hands up, not getting caught too much inside.
There was another low blow from Chavez, but punch for punch, toe-to-toe exchanges. It's not what we thought we'd be seeing. Oh, what a left uppercut from De La Hoya. But Chavez has always had an absolutely rock-solid chin. Only ever floored once in his whole career by Frankie Randall. Chavez.
Good body punch from Chavez and a beautiful left hook from De La Hoya.
These are big, big shots that would have a lot of men down from De La Hoya.
I think a little psychology in Gil Clancy's words there. He's saying, box around, give yourself a break. But I think really they're not happy at the way he's fighting. They want him to get behind that jab. And there's Chavez beating him to the punch there with a jab.
So that super left uppercut of De La Hoya's there. Look at that.
Big left hook right at the end from De La Hoya.
Well, millions of dollars were put by the punters in Las Vegas on this fight, going either under or over 5.5 rounds. It's gone over.
Well, that's how I've got it. De La Hoya just a few points in the lead, with Chavez winning that last one.
Judges from Thailand, Belgium, and Britain's John Keane, remember. Now, Chavez looking to switch for a moment in style. Well, Chavez said he would be a lot better in this one, and he has been.
Well, we said you couldn't discount a fighter with the record, with the pride of Julio Cesar Chavez.
Oh, big left hook from Chavez, and De La Hoya answered it immediately. It's quite a fight, this, between the modern Latin legend and the old one.
And Chavez landing with a big right hand.
Oh, again, Chavez getting there with the right hand. De La Hoya not slipping many of those. And then he throws in that combination with blurring hand speed.
Well, he hasn't been hit in a fight like he's been hit here. The defense is poor from De La Hoya, carrying those hands very low, and he's been made to pay for that.
Huge right uppercut from De La Hoya again. Chavez hardly blinked. This is where I think he's dispirited so many people down the years. Very, very good fighters. They've hit him, and he's just there and keeps on coming forward at them.
It's very, very hard to keep a fighter off like Chavez.
De La Hoya doing it very nicely there, though.
Beautiful skills from De La Hoya. What a combination.
Flashy brilliance from De La Hoya. Now, round 8. A lot of people thought it wouldn't take De La Hoya this long, but Chavez still very competitive. Probably behind on the scorecards, Glenn?
Yes, I would think he's behind. The better boxing has been from De La Hoya, but he's still there, and that makes him dangerous.
Well, De La Hoya here is hitting it with some punches that would knock down the walls of a city.
He's gritting his teeth, De La Hoya. He's really trying to make Chavez pay. But Chavez just keeps shrugging them shoulders, coming forward.
And Chavez turning the tables on De La Hoya on those ropes. I think he's looking to out-grit him, outlast him here, maybe take him late. You couldn't rule that out completely, could you?
You couldn't. He's going to try and really test the heart, the nerve of De La Hoya.
Julio Cesar Chavez is dangerous until the final second. Ask Meldrick Taylor, It was stopped with 2 seconds to go when he was ahead on the scorecards. That was back in 1990. But De La Hoya is being asked a lot of questions here about his grit and character, and you'd have to say so far he's passing that test.
He's passing the test, but it's hard for him. He's been drawn into a fight. It's not really the sort of battle that suits him.
But I think he wants to do it this way.
I think it's pride. He wants to prove he can out-tough Chavez.
Yep.
He was upset at the comments last time. He wants to prove he's more man. He's tougher inside, but that's a dangerous game he's playing.
He's playing Chavez's game, really.
You don't give a man like Cesar Chavez any advantage.
He's looking to out-slug Chavez here, De La Hoya. But he's letting Chavez in with a chance that he might not have had he boxed behind his jab coolly. But the upshot of that is a tremendous battle between these two. What a fight it's developing into. Look at this.
Tremendous action. It looks as if Chavez may be cut. Or the damage may be worse.
The crowd were on their feet during those exchanges.
Well, what do you know about this, Ian? They said it was going to be an easy fight for De La Hoya. They didn't account for the immense pride and toughness of Cesar Chavez.
Look at the finish from De La Hoya, who wanted to carry on after the bell. Oh, what a round! What a round! Sensational stuff, Glenn.
Absolutely unbelievable fight, and what a round of boxing. Oh, damage to the mouth of Chavez. He looks in some distress from that.
It's going to take more than that, you feel. Richard Steele, the referee's having a closer look.
The doctor's in there as well.
Yep.
He's shaking his head, Chavez. There seems to be a problem.
I don't think he'll want to go out like that. What a 8th round this was. In this arena that staged that fantastic heavyweight title fight between Riddick Bowe and Evander Holyfield, the first one of their triumvirate. But it's over! It is over! Chavez is pulled out! De La Hoya has done it again! It's another Oscar-winning night!
Well, the 8th round just proved too much for Chavez. He did what he wanted to do. He out-toughed Chavez. He stood with him, he fought with him, and he came out a winner.
Cut from the mouth, Chavez, but De La Hoya, a golden boy indeed.
The challenger's corner advised referee Richard Steele that he was unable to continue. The end comes at the end of round number 8. The winner by knockout victory, and still the defending and reigning undefeated WBC welterweight champion of the world, El Niño de Oro, the Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya.
Okay, gentlemen, give me your instructions. Let's keep the punches up. Let's have a good, clean fight, and listen to my command. Shake hands and wait to go out.
Well, the corner of Sugar Shane Mosley all smiles. Shane, his dad Jack, they're smiling ear to ear. De La Hoya, a very serious look on his face. All the nerves will go away as soon as that first punch lands. Scheduled for 12, the WBC Welterweight Championship is on the line. And we are underway. Mosley coming right out, firing a combination. De La Hoya in the red trunks. Shane Mosley in the black trunks with the white stripe. See, Oscar has the reach advantage in this fight. Mosley probably has the hand speed advantage. Punching power, I would say, is about even though Mosley looks like he's bulked up for this one. Mosley moving up from the lightweight ranks to the welterweight ranks, 147 pounders. And both men under the limit, obviously. Mosley tipped the scales at 147, De La Hoya 146 and a half. Rabbit punching that time by Mosley. Referee might have a busy night tonight. Again, the hand speed, to see the hand speed of Mosley beating Oscar to the punch. De La Hoya has a devastating left hook, probably his best punch. Mosley packs the wall up himself. Out of 34 wins, he's got 32 by knockout. Only's gone the distance twice. In fact, for Mosley, that was a long time ago that he went the distance. First in 94, as the feeling out process continues. No real damaging blows. Also a victory back in 97 over Philip Holliday to win the IBF lightweight title. That was a decision win. Only 2 times going to the judges' scorecards in the career of Shane Mosley. I'm surprised he's standing in front of De La Hoya. He's got the footwork to cause Oscar problems. Maybe we'll see that come out a little bit later from Sugar Shane. Standing right in the pocket right there, right in De La Hoya's range. De La Hoya reluctant to let those shots go. Oscar hasn't thrown many punches here in round 1. Mosley off the gloves of De La Hoya. Mosley leans in with that left jab and scores. De La Hoya continually moving forward, not punching, however. Left hand misses wildly by Oscar De La Hoya. Both men have loosened up in round 1. Neither man scoring any decisive blows. Advice from Mosley's corner, from his dad Jack Mosley, that he could see in Oscar's eyes that Mosley is more than he anticipated. Round 2 underway. See if De La Hoya listened to his corner and starts throwing that jab. Body shot by Mosley, dives in, dives out. Expected side-to-side movement from Mosley. There De La Hoya and Mosley engage. No scoring blows there. There's a jab by De La Hoya. De La Hoya, a pretty tough guy, belies the Golden Boy nickname. And as we said, he won the Olympics back in '92 in Barcelona and has become a star since then. Hard life, as we know, gave his Olympic victory in honor of his mother, who passed away back in 1990. Very well documented story. And he has moved up in weight class over the years. De La Hoya began his pro career right after those Olympics in 1992. And by the time he got to 1994, he fought Jimmy Breedall for the super featherweight title. That was Oscar's first title at the super featherweight limit. Then went up to lightweight, victorious and defended several times in the lightweight category. Moved up to light welterweight in '96. Victory over the legendary Julio Cesar Chavez. Now he's a full-fledged welterweight at 147 pounds, taking on Sugar Shane Mosley. The lone loss on De La Hoya's ledger went to Felix Trinidad. We talked about that in the open. De La Hoya felt he was ahead on the judges' scorecards and figured he'd cruise in for a victory. Gave away that fight in the closing rounds, and that is certainly stuck in his memory. We don't want to see that happen again, but you never know. De La Hoya punching more here in round 2, scores a jab. Hoya kind of robotic and moving forward, not punching again. This is how the fight started. He's got to let his hands go. Mosley with a jab. De La Hoya stepping in, good body shot. Didn't pull the trigger on that left hook. Wanted to. Dives in with the jab. Body shot. Overhand right by Mosley. So jab again by Sugar Shane. Left hand that time, looping left by Oscar De La Hoya. Straight left by De La Hoya. Another left by De La Hoya. And that's the end of round 2.
Let's go, let's go.
Good instructions from Jack Mosley.
Let's go.
And, you know, father-son combinations don't always work in boxing, but it's worked so far for Jack and Shane Mosley. Round 3 is underway. Gave the first round to Mosley, second round to De La Hoya. Mosley has fans in attendance, as does De La Hoya. It's not one-sided here tonight. Nice right hand inside by Mosley. And the instructions for Mosley were De La Hoya wants you to be on the end of his punches, and he's doing a good job getting inside of that range. De La Hoya stepping forward, but should be punching. Punching output from Oscar De La Hoya, a disappointment so far in this fight. Mosley, that left hand over the top. Mosley dives in with that jab. Counter right hand by Oscar De La Hoya.
Hold it. Free.
So you can see Oscar's got that reach advantage. If he can just find Mosley with that jab, that would be essential. Overhand right that time as Mosley backed away. Scores by De La Hoya. Mosley moving up into the welterweight division. He doesn't look like he has the same speed that he had as a lightweight. And De La Hoya now finally opening up with some combinations. Finally here in round 3. Maybe he just needed to warm up. Oscar letting his hands go here, and he's effective. Mosley trying to out-jab De La Hoya there. See both men firing the jab. De La Hoya has the reach, Mosley has the speed. Jab by Oscar, comes up short, and Mosley just wrestles him to the ground.
Let's have a good free fight, guys. Come on.
Yeah, sometimes you get tangled up. Referee did a good job there that time, not giving anyone a point deduction or an official warning. Guy just got tangled up. De La Hoya, nice left hand on the inside, scores. See Mosley trying to feint away from those punches. That time he connected, Oscar did. Body shot might have been a little low that time. No warning from the referee. Nice jab by Oscar. Mosley, big overhand right and a left by Oscar De La Hoya. Back and forth this third round goes. De La Hoya and Mosley. What a great fight tonight in Los Angeles at the Staples Center. De La Hoya misses the left hand. Mosley backing up. Jab by De La Hoya off the mark. Closing seconds of round 3.
Get this water, man.
This is round 4. Scheduled for 12 in Los Angeles. WBC Welterweight Championship is on the line. Oscar De La Hoya and Sugar Shane Mosley. Looking at Mosley's resume, he turned pro in '93, and just like Oscar De La Hoya, a remarkable amateur record. 266 amateur fights for Sugar Shane Mosley, and of those 266, he won 250. That's a lot of ring action in the amateurs, and Mosley unbeaten as a pro. Mosley won his first major championship back in '97, the lightweight championship, IBF lightweight. Shot behind the head that time, and they touched gloves again. He took out Philip Holliday by way of decision, and he has defended that championship 9 times, but now he moves up in weight to go against De La Hoya. De La Hoya crunching with the left hand on the arm of Mosley. Neither man has really done much of a body attack so far in this fight. We'll see if that materializes along the way. Quick hands that time by Mosley. He scores again. Oscar on his toes, trying to get the range, moving in. Overhand right by Mosley. Oscar continues to be right in front of Sugar Shane. De La Hoya has not varied his attack. Straight up, coming right at him. Mosley's moved side to side a little bit. Stuck and moved. Good body shot by Oscar. Left hand by Oscar. Mosley with a jab. Overhand right by De La Hoya. Golden Boy keeps inching closer, and with no side-to-side movement by Mosley, De La Hoya finding that tempo and rhythm as he moves forward and lets his shots go. Oscar continues to pursue Mosley. Mosley just basically in full retreat. Maybe looking to counter here. Nice left hand by De La Hoya. Body shot by Mosley. Both these men have grown over the years in terms of weight and weight class. You wonder who's the stronger welterweight tonight. We'll find out, no doubt about that, as round 4 comes to a close. On the jaw of De La Hoya. Round 5 underway. Very close fight thus far. De La Hoya overhand right. He uses that jab as a rangefinder, then fires the right hand. And again, Mosley looking to counter here. Not leading, he's waiting for Oscar to punch. Right-left combination, body shot by Mosley. And Oscar stays to his game plan. Straight and tall, moving behind that jab. It's been effective over the last couple of rounds. In fact, I have De La Hoya up 3 rounds to 1 on my unofficial scorecard. Mosley wanted to throw that right hand, but he fought better. He was expecting to get a counter left from De La Hoya, so he held back. And this is the strategy De La Hoya needs right here, right now. Mosley's hand speed negated. Side-to-side movement negated. Oscar doing damage up close. Mosley body shot, misses with a left hook though. Jab by Sugar Shane. Oscar continues to move forward. Uppercut by Mosley, he hits and runs. Just a single shot, right hand by De La Hoya scores. Nice body shot with the right hand by Mosley. Another one to the same place. His corner had told him to work the body, and he's beginning to here in round 5, and it's been effective. Jab by Mosley, another jab by Mosley. De La Hoya's jab comes up short. Left-right combination by Mosley. De La Hoya tags him with the left. Mosley a little bit off balance. Ducking punches. De La Hoya misses with both the left and the right. Look at how low Mosley holds that left hand, just begging De La Hoya to pull the trigger on a right. And if that's fatigue, there's the right hand. Mosley quick enough to slide off that punch.
Relax, relax, relax.
De La Hoya trying to find some range with that jab again. Mosley gets off first with the jab. De La Hoya misses. Mosley in a crouch is being effective. Mosley's shiftiness, his craftiness right now, effective in round 5. Here we go, round 6 at the Staples Center. It's surprising Mosley standing and fighting with De La Hoya to this degree. I know he's got a lot of power, moving up from the lightweight class though. Not using that ring speed that he has, side-to-side movement, shiftiness, electing to trade with Oscar De La Hoya. There's a jab by Oscar, jab by Mosley. Very evenly matched fighters. Left-right combination by Mosley. The body shot again. The right hand of the body by Mosley has really been effective over the last 2 rounds. And the jab keeping Oscar occupied. He's trying to get inside, try to find an opening. Mosley won't let him. Short right hand scored by De La Hoya. Mosley deflected that punch. Couple jabs by Mosley off the gloves of De La Hoya, and another. Overhand right there, clubbing right hand by De La Hoya. Another right hand by De La Hoya. Left-right combination, De La Hoya moving forward. Scoring on Mosley. Hoya has not wandered from his game plan. He continues to move forward, chopping away, trying to beat down Mosley. Change of jabs again. Well, it's such a close round. This is very tough to call. Jab by Mosley as De La Hoya let his guard down for just a moment. Mosley is such a good defensive fighter. He slips a lot of punches at the last second. There, he pulled away from that right hand of De La Hoya's. Mosley, still good head movement, hasn't slowed down in that area. Shot that time to the body below the belt by Mosley. No warning from the referee. Oscar keeps working behind that jab. Again, Mosley blocks those body shots. The body shot by Mosley. Couldn't quite see it from that angle. Jab by De La Hoya. We've reached the midway point of this 12-round championship fight. Mosley and De La Hoya. Well, I think Jack Mosley's right. Sugar Shane has been most effective in this fight, going to the body of De La Hoya, trying to weaken that body, and then maybe later in the fight he'll take it up top to the head. Round 7 underway. By De La Hoya, Mosley doing a nice job slipping that combination. Coming back with a clubbing right of his own. Conditioning could come into play here. Mosley moving up in weight. You don't know how he'll carry the weight into the later rounds. Oscar De La Hoya always in good condition. He's used to this weight. Been a welterweight for many years now. Jab by De La Hoya, 2 from Mosley. If Mosley will make that trade. Overhand right and the left hand of the body by De La Hoya. De La Hoya has not gone to Mosley's body much in this fight. Mosley, after getting instructions to go to De La Hoya's body, has not gone to it once here in round 7. Looping left uppercut by De La Hoya, way off the mark. See a little wear and tear in both fighters right here. Passing the midway point in the fight. Been a grueling pace from the opening bell. I have to say Mosley started faster than De La Hoya. De La Hoya, once he got his rhythm, he's continued moving forward and throwing shots. Overhand right misses by Oscar. Pity pat combination by Mosley. Not really scoring blows, but the judges might see it that way at ringside. You never know. Good jab that time by Oscar. Shane, good head movement. Scores with a sharp right hand. Mosley right on the button. tags De La Hoya. See some swelling growing under the left eye of Oscar De La Hoya. That right hand of Mosley has done some damage. Leaping uppercut, but a right hand scores by Mosley. Body shot by De La Hoya catches Mosley on the way in, and Mosley smothering the Golden Boy. Oscar's punch output has slowed down here in round 7. Nice jab that time. Just a single jab though. Left-right combination. Shane Mosley just dances away. Punches don't connect as round 7 comes to a close. Nice combination by Mosley. De La Hoya backing up for the first time in this fight. I have this fight dead even unofficially on my scorecard. 3 rounds apiece and 1 round even.
Let's go.
Round 8 underway. Close fight here in Los Angeles. Oscar De La Hoya and Sugar Shane Mosley. I'm Larry Michael. Great to be with you for world-class championship boxing. There's a straight jab by Oscar. And again, Oscar's game plan has not wavered, coming straight forward, standing relatively straight up. Mosley, a little bit more mobile, dancing as you see on his toes, trying to find some angles. And this is what I expected from Mosley from the beginning of the fight. If he goes side to side, De La Hoya might have a hard time reaching him, and Mosley can dance the night away to a championship. De La Hoya, the jab comes up short. Jab by Mosley. Shane pops out that left hand off the gloves of De La Hoya. Finally, De La Hoya goes to the body with the combination. Mosley obliges with more of the same. Overhand right to the back of De La Hoya's head. Complaining to the referee about that rabbit punch. I believe Oscar might have turned though, and Mosley can't stop that punch halfway through. Nice right hand by the Golden Boy, right on the button. That tagged Mosley. Mosley right back with the jab. Good action round here, round 8. Combination off the gloves of De La Hoya. Uppercut by Mosley. Jab by De La Hoya comes up short. Mosley switches to the southpaw stance. Using that right jab now. A little versatility by Sugar Shane. Seeing if he can throw Oscar a curveball by switching to the southpaw stance. He has stopped De La Hoya's punches. He doesn't know exactly how to approach it right now. Nice strategic move by Shane Mosley. I don't think he'll stick with it. But as a change of pace, I think he's broken De La Hoya's rhythm here just a bit. De La Hoya stopped punching when Mosley went to the southpaw stance, and that is no secret to Mosley right now. He knows he's effective this way. Not really punching though, not making De La Hoya pay, but just De La Hoya a little more cautious with Mosley in the southpaw stance. Right-left combination by Sugar Shane connects. Another right, good strategic move by Mosley to go southpaw in round 8. We are 2/3 through this fight, which is scheduled for 12 rounds. De La Hoya off his stool early. Mosley, they hit gloves. It's a real gut check now. Round 9 underway. In fact, Mosley might have tried to bluff his fighter, telling him there was only 3 rounds to go. In fact, 4 rounds scheduled. And Mosley stays in that southpaw stance. He switches back. It's not the natural way that Mosley wants to fight, but it did cause De La Hoya a little bit of thought on how he might attack Mosley, maybe giving Mosley the opportunity to win that last round, the 8th round. I've got Mosley ahead by 1 round after 8, and of course that is unofficial. De La Hoya misses with her left-right combination. Jab by Mosley. I believe one of the fighters lost their mouthpiece. I think it's De La Hoya. Yes, it is. So we'll rinse it off. Clock is not stopped by the referee for that retrieval of the mouthpiece, and we are underway once again in round 9. Clubbing shot with the right hand by Sugar Shane Mosley. Nice combination, quick punches. Mosley scores off the face of De La Hoya. Mosley beating De La Hoya to the punch here in round 9. Could Oscar be getting fatigued here? It's been a feverish pace. Mosley, a little too quick for him here in the 9th. There's a left hand by De La Hoya that scores. Mosley fires a left, a right counter by De La Hoya. Mosley putting a lot into round 9. La Hoya off the mark with those punches. The head movement of Mosley still there. The actions are still very, very tight. Left hand by Mosley. A body shot, another body shot by De La Hoya. Left hand on the inside by Oscar. Misses the right hand. Mosley scores with the left. Mosley getting the better of De La Hoya in round 9. Just out of range of De La Hoya's jab. Mosley doing a superb job here in the 9th. Rapid punch by De La Hoya, and Mosley repays him for that. No warning from the referee, but the fighters know. They touch gloves as round 9 comes to a close. And see if he favors either hand as we head to the 10th. I've had Mosley edge ahead over the last couple of rounds, 5 rounds to 3 with 1 even. Still 3 rounds to go. So right hand by Mosley scores. I mean, De La Hoya's a warrior, even if he has an injured hand, which we don't know if he does or not. That's what the corner man referred to. Maybe Slice, if you think it's broken, don't worry about it. I don't know if that's the best advice to give a guy who might have a broken hand or a broken bone, but De La Hoya throwing both hands, so it doesn't look like either hand is favored at this point. Rapid fire shots by Mosley, sticks and moves, does it again. He's building up points when he does that. Makes De La Hoya look bad. Not only that, but he does add up on the scorecard. Those punches do count. Doesn't have to be a knockout blow. De La Hoya plodding forward, not letting his hands go. You might wonder if he does have some issue. Left-right combination, Oscar scores.
Hold it, hold it, hold it. Let him go.
We'll have to listen into the corner after this round. Mosley moving in and tying up De La Hoya, kind of buying some time there. Straight left hand and a body shot returned by Mosley. Oscar, body and head, left and a right. They both connect. Nice body shot again by De La Hoya. Both men bending at the waist, sure sign they're tired.
Step back, step back, step back.
As is the hold there as they hug each other in the center of the ring. Nice jab by Mosley. Again, Mosley getting off first here in the latter part of this fight. Got to be catching the eyes of the judges. Nice right hand that time by Mosley. Rocks the head back of Oscar. De La Hoya looking tired, mouth open, looking for some oxygen. Quickness of Mosley beginning to show here in the latter rounds. Overhand right by Mosley. Oscar returns an overhand right of his own. Straight left by De La Hoya. A shocking left jab by Mosley. Mosley again beating De La Hoya to the punch here in round 10 as well. De La Hoya misses wildly. Take this victory in the final 2 rounds. On my scorecard, unofficially, I've got Mosley in front by 2 rounds with 2 to go. Nice body shot that time by De La Hoya. Maybe his best body shot of the fight. Left hand of the body by De La Hoya. There's a jab by Oscar. A little more resolve in his game right now. Haven't really heard either corner talk about who's leading this fight. They sense, I'm sure, it is close. Trying to drive their man to the finish line, which we are approaching. It's the 11th, scheduled for 12 in Los Angeles. WBC Welterweight Championship is on the line. Oscar De La Hoya and Sugar Shane Mosley. Both men feeling the effects of a very fast pace. You can see they've slowed down considerably here in the 11th.
Hold that, step back, guys, step back.
There's a stiff jab by Mosley. Once again, a very close round. I guess it depends on what you like. If you like the methodical approach of De La Hoya and a little bit of the sizzle of Sugar Shane. De La Hoya looking for that right. Again, might have caught wind from the corner earlier that he might have an injury. Not sure, but he's throwing both hands, so it doesn't look like he's favoring either hand. Mosley once again switches to southpaw. He did this in the 8th round, and it thwarted De La Hoya's momentum. So he's going back to what was effective earlier in the fight, Mosley is. Now De La Hoya has stopped punching again. When Mosley turns to the southpaw stance, it takes De La Hoya some time to gather his game, to figure out which way he wants to approach Mosley. But again, Mosley doing nothing from that southpaw stance in terms of punching. Looping left by Oscar, blocked slightly by the glove of Mosley. Nice combination on the inside by the Golden Boy. Counter left hand by Mosley.
Let him go, step back.
What a great fight. These two champions. Shame someone has to lose. Maybe it'll be a draw, you never know. WBC Welterweight Championship on the line tonight. There's a nice jab by Mosley. Say Mosley has out-jabbed De La Hoya 60% to 40%. De La Hoya's had his moments. Mosley's been a little more effective. This, however, was a good round for De La Hoya, the 11th. Jack Mosley putting the bug in his son's ear, saying De La Hoya's looking for the decision, but he's not going to get it. We'll find out. We've got 3 minutes to go. Two Southern Californians doing battle in Los Angeles for the WBC Welterweight Championship. Toe-to-toe in the center of the ring. Mosley almost took a knee there. If his knee had touched the ground, that would have been a knockdown. That would have been huge. De La Hoya body shot. Mosley firing back. Might have been a clash of heads in there. De La Hoya misses the left. Now he holds on to Mosley. De La Hoya has to remember how Tito Trinidad took the final couple of rounds in their matchup. Take that title away from De La Hoya. De La Hoya's only loss, and there must be some water on that logo.
Over there, over there. Over there. Oscar over here. Let's get a
De La
towel,
Hoya
man.
having
Let's
some
get a
issues
towel.
with his shoes, and the referee taking time to ask for a towel. Blood from the nose of Oscar De La Hoya. All right, ref, good job. Maintenance done. Let's go. Final round. Now, these guys got mutual respect. There's no doubt about that. Mosley dives in with the left. Nice right hand by Mosley. De La Hoya responds with a right. I don't know how you score that. Mosley smothering De La Hoya right now, not giving Oscar any punching room, and driving Oscar back against the ropes, but he battles back with a left. De La Hoya shaking his head, saying he's fine. Such a close fight. This could be decided in the final 90 seconds. Half a round to go. Mosley with the right. Left to the body by De La Hoya. Big right hand by Mosley. Gets through the guard of Oscar. And now Mosley dives in and holds. Mosley another right. De La Hoya's left is so low. Mosley finding a home for that right hand. Who's got anything left in the gas tank? Mosley clubbing right hand, and he holds on. Crowd on their feet at the Staples Center. It's been an exciting action fight. Neither man has been knocked down. De La Hoya from a distance looking for range here. Mosley takes a deep breath. He's out of oxygen. De La Hoya cannot take advantage of Mosley's fatigue. Overhand right by Mosley. And a counter left by Oscar De La Hoya. Less than 30 seconds to go. Clubbing right by Mosley. Jab not effective. Overhand right comes up short. De La Hoya moves forward. 10 seconds to go. Both men are exhausted. They left it all in the ring tonight. Crowd loves it. Standing ovation tonight. Left right by Oscar. Right hand by Mosley. What a close fight. Right down to the last bell. Mosley and De La Hoya, and now it's in the hands of the judges.
Lou Filippo scores the bout, 116-112. He has it for Mosley. Marty Salmon scores it 115-113. He has it for De La Hoya. Pat Russell scores it 115-113 for the winner by split decision. And new welterweight champion of the world, Sugar Mosley.
I don't think you can argue with the decision.
All right, we've already been through the instructions in the dressing room. And for the championship of the world, I expect a tough, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Any questions from the challenger's corner? Any questions from the champion's corner? Let's get it on. See that chin?
John Molina presumably is going to be asking questions of De La Hoya that he hasn't been asked as yet. Let's see if he has the answers.
And you heard Mills Lane make reference to a championship. De La Hoya holds the World Boxing Organization lightweight belt. It's the 4th governing body. In most quarters, only 3 governing bodies are recognized for mainstream title purposes, and here at HBO, we don't yet regard De La Hoya as a world champion, though he is certainly a potential future world champion. John Molina has promised to be aggressive, come straight forward, which is his style, and try to pressure De La Hoya. He says that De La Hoya has not been properly pressured by his opponents in the past. De La Hoya, for his part, says, Molina's not a natural 135-pounder. I'm just the bigger man. And indeed, as they stand in there together, George, De La Hoya does present the bigger physical picture.
And not only that, De La Hoya is using, for the first time in my mind, a good stiff left jab. He's not dependent upon his power. He's throwing that jab. That jab hurts.
De La Hoya with a hard right hand that buckled Molina's knees. John just keeps coming.
De La Hoya looks like the kid next door, like a little schoolboy. So you have a tendency, fighters have a tendency to try to run over him. And that's what happens.
That's what happens right there. Molina going down from a hard left and a right hand behind it. Third time in his career that John Molina has been knocked down. Lupe Suarez and Tony Lopez did it also. Molina's in trouble here. De La Hoya may just hit too hard for John Molina.
De La Hoya better understand this came about because of that stiff left jab. Start all over again, just like that wasn't even a knockdown.
Hard right hand by Molina. And now John seems to have his legs back. Good straight left by De La Hoya.
De La Hoya is starting to feint with his left jab, which is good. This is a world-class boxer he's fighting. If you're going to knock him out, you're going to have to do it one knockdown at a time.
Well, he's already gotten the first knockdown in round number 1. And De La Hoya punctuates the round with 2 more hard right hands to the jaw of John Molina.
Take a look at this lightning quick left hand. It's slow motion, but even there you can see how quick it was. George, this kid has talent that you don't often see.
You know, and there's so much of it is natural.
That left hook is just lightning. He hammered him in the first round without even having to throw the left hook very much, and it's far and away his best punch. Round 2 begins. De La Hoya landed 56% of his shots in the first round. If Molina's gonna do anything here, he's got to somehow get inside of Oscar De La Hoya's jab.
And his corner has already told Molina, go side to side, which will throw your fight completely off. You got to get right on in there.
Well, if he stands out here, George, it looks like it's just going to be a bloodletting.
He's got to get on in there. His corner's telling him to go side to side. De La Hoya measures him with his left jab.
Molina is totally willing. He wants to fight his way in there, but so far Oscar's jab has just been too hard.
He's the first guy that looked like that since Muhammad Ali to look like a kid and punch like a grown man with a good left jab.
He looks like he can handle Molina's hard shots without too much trouble, too.
Yeah, Molina, though, is starting to get a little confident. I've been knocked down now. I'm starting to throw a little body punch here and there. Oscar cannot allow this guy to hit him in his body.
Still not getting much of a chance to step up behind the left hook and showcase it.
I think he shouldn't open up too soon with the left hooks to the body because he will allow Molina to get a little close.
Molina tried another hard right hand. See how every time Oscar throws the left, it backs Molina up.
Yeah. The jab is going to be more effective than his left hook. Oscar starts throwing too many left hooks to the body, he's going to get caught with a looping right hand, so he better stick with his jab. He's winning the fight with it.
There's a hard left. Molina stops in his tracks. De La Hoya senses something and comes forward. Another hard left for De La Hoya. Molina steps back.
That's that powerful left jab of Oscar De La Hoya.
Duva urging Molina, turn him, turn him, turn him. hard to turn a man when he simply overpowers you every time you get close.
Now Molina did something very important. He landed 3 body punches, which could be his saving face now, because if this fight goes beyond 6 rounds, those body punches on Oscar De La Hoya are going to pay dividends. He even landed an effective left jab to the pit of the stomach.
So you think he should stay with the body punches all the way?
That's right. Hey, let Oscar win the first 3 rounds. Larry said something earlier. Molina's been in how many championship fights?
12 championship fights.
It counts for a whole lot.
Well, certainly isn't going to get desperate or flustered just as a result of having been knocked down in round number 1. And he certainly knows how it feels to lose rounds and win the fight.
He's thrown an occasional right to the body, right in the pit of the stomach. And let me tell you, that's a championship type style. Oscar better stick to his left jab. Forget about trying to get a 3-punch knockdown. He's a good 1-2 puncher. Stick with the left jab.
He threw 92 jabs in the first 2 rounds and landed 52 of them.
Stick with your left jab, Oscar. Molina, stay close, stay close.
And as De La Hoya's energy level starts to go down, Molina is able to get inside a little bit more. Left hand inside by Molina.
Now you hope that Oscar De La Hoya's corner refocus him. Get back on your left jab. Don't allow this guy to touch your body at all.
All right. Come on, back from there. Come on, here we go.
Good left hook landed by De La Hoya as Molina was coming in. That's the price he'll have to pay sometimes.
Molina's got to take that and keep coming. There are those important body punches again by Molina. He's apologizing, but he's saying, I'm going to do it again anyway. East Los Angeles' Oscar De La Hoya against Fajardo, Puerto Rico's John Molina. In the 3rd round, Molina began to snake his way inside, sometimes feinting and then punching to the body. And he's following direction from his corner. Molina is. Lou Duva probably is one of the best cornermen in the world. Told him exactly what to do, and he's going to follow suit to it. And Duva and Molina told us yesterday they would make this fight plan up as they went along. Now, for the first time, De La Hoya is against the rope. He is being bulldogged.
All right, come on.
When he sticks to the jab like that, though.
If he sticks to that left jab, like you say, it's going to be a different fight. Forget about the right hands and the uppercuts and the hook. Right back to what got you there, jab. But Molina is following the instructions with the body punches.
Come on. All right, we fit that clean. Here we go. Come on.
See the determination that Molina brings to this. It's an enormous opportunity for him coming, you suspect, toward the end of his career.
Oscar's going to have to be tough.
Here we go.
One thing good about a great boxer like Pernell Whitaker, you get tough with him, he'll get tough with you.
Come on, work out.
You hit him on his below the belt, he'll hit you right back below the belt.
And so if Molina can continue to pursue the plan of punishing Oscar to the body,
Oscar may have to go back and get him back.
Hard shots. Molina wobbles again. De La Hoya looking for a chance to land one more left hook.
There was a terrific left to the body by De La Hoya during that flurry.
Yep.
You know, it takes a tremendous amount of power and strength to just keep charging a guy to his body like that.
Another good left to the body.
Molina taking a lot of punishment here in round 4.
All right. Come on, get off the neck.
Fight is being fought at a furious pace. How long can both men keep this up?
It benefits Molina with all the experience and with the extra weight down on his thighs. Oscar De La Hoya, legs are thin. Doesn't favor him to keep mixing things up like that.
Good point.
I agree with George that Molina now has to think of winning a long, grueling fight so that the younger, taller, thinner man wears down.
Legs look like a good soccer player, Molina.
In round 4, De La Hoya threw 63 punches. Molina threw 52. So far, Oscar lands at a much higher rate than does his opponent. Harold Letterman.
Jim, 39-36, 3 rounds to 1. Oscar De La Hoya. Jim, in round 4, I think Oscar got tired of waiting for John to rush him at the counterpunch, and he just stepped forward and nailed John with some terrific shots. He certainly deserves an extra point for the knockdown in round 1. So I got Oscar De La Hoya up by 3 points so far.
Look at De La Hoya blast away as Molina just sticks his head in his chest and stays right there.
I've given De La Hoya every round, although one of them was very close.
The thing about De La Hoya, he can hit you on top of the head and it hurts, which is very strange for a fighter in that weight class.
But he's expending a lot of energy, George, and sometimes hard punchers who are going for the knockout early tend to tire very quickly.
That's right, exactly right.
Hard right hand by Molina. And De La Hoya kind of shakes his head as if to say that didn't hurt. That almost always means it did.
I thought he was saying, how did I get hit by that punch?
Maybe it was.
Go back to your jab. Forget about the hooks. Oscar De La Hoya has got to stick to a strategy of left jab, left jab. Whenever he throws the powerful left hooks, he's playing into Molina's game.
Crowd booing as they think Molina tried to headbutt De La Hoya. De La Hoya has looked at Mills Lane a couple of times as if to say, are you going to let him headbutt me?
Yes, he's going to let him do it because that's the way he's got to fight. He's butting, he's pushing, he's hitting below the belt, he's doing everything. But what else can he do?
Molina keeps trying that looping right hand. Is that going to open up the left hook for Oscar?
Oscar's got to regain his composure, go back to the left jab, forget about this guy and mixing it up. Forget about it. Molina got to continue to do what he's doing.
A reaching right hand from Molina. He's just loading up and lunging with the right.
Uppercut by Oscar De La Hoya.
John Molina has been a little bit tougher to find for Oscar De La Hoya in round 5. You sense a worried note in De La Hoya's corner there?
No doubt about it. That man has got to stick to his jab. And he hasn't been in there with this kind of fighter that you're going to have to coast sometime. You got to coast, build up points, keep him away from you.
Molina promised to find out for us what De La Hoya could take to the body.
Yeah, and De La Hoya just did probably the best thing he could do in this fight. Throw the left hook, well, no, never mind where it lands.
Hard right hand by Molina on the uppercut. De La Hoya seemed to take it okay.
Molina complained about that blow, but the referee said that was a good punch.
And there's blood at the left nostril of Oscar De La Hoya. He knows it. He just reached for it with the glove and took a look.
Molina doesn't want to get hit in the body anymore either. Now Oscar should try to pursue left hooks to the body at this point.
The article of faith in John Molina's camp is the longer the fight goes, the better off we are.
All right, here we go. One step back. Come on.
Oscar's starting to look to his corner. He's in unfamiliar territory.
I think he's frustrated.
He's got to learn now you can win fights without knocking people out. All those body punches of Molina are starting to hurt.
And if De La Hoya gets distracted and wanders away from his fight plan, that won't help at all.
Well, like I said earlier, Pernell Whitaker, you get dirty with him, he'll get dirty with you. Oscar De La Hoya is finding out now. With some of these fighters, it's not winning, it's how you play the game.
That's the hands. Come on, right the hands. Come on, come on.
Whenever Oscar uses his left jab, it's a different fight.
Well, for those who wondered whether Molina could hang in and take De La Hoya's punches coming up in weight, the returns now look pretty good. In round one, it was trouble. But John Molina is increasingly in the fight as we near the midway point. Hard left hand by Molina. Hard right hand by De La Hoya.
Back of that net.
Jim, the one thing about a punch that hurts, it hurts. And you can't do anything about that. Oscar De La Hoya hits you and it hurts you.
All right, one step back. Whoa, time. In the corner, please.
Round 7 begins. Round 6 was the first one of the fight in which, by our punch stat numbers, Molina outlanded De La Hoya. Winging right hand over the top by Molina. He's thrown everything but the kitchen sink in the last 3 rounds.
And now it's time to come up away from the body now. Molina has spent too much time on the body. You got to get out there and win this fight too.
But Lou Duva's last words when he left the corner was he can't take it in the belly. So he wants him to throw more punches to the body, George.
Yeah, and he's right to say that, but now he's invested a lot of time, and you got the dividends are to go back to the head now and get a knockout.
Double left.
You don't want to throw to the body and then win on body punches.
Triple left hook by De La Hoya, and again De La Hoya looks at Mills Lane and says, "Are you gonna let him butt me?"
Right. Thank you, Mills Lane.
Right hand and left hand by De La Hoya. And how tough is Molina, George?
Molina is tough.
He took 2 monster shots right on the chin.
How tough is Molina? Real tough.
Yep.
And he's standing right in front of Oscar like he wants more.
All right, one step back. Come on, both of you. Here we go.
That's the kind of thing that's got to befuddle De La Hoya just a little bit. He's not used to seeing people stand up when he lands those 2 punches.
That's why that left jab is so important. When you can't do anything else, keep tic-tac-toeing with that left jab.
All right, get off of that. Come on.
Fatal mistake. Oscar allowing Molina to bend his back forward like that.
Why?
All of a sudden, those body punches start to work, and you're on the canvas. Never let him get his hand above your neck.
Hard right hand by Molina landed. He steps in and digs to the body twice more. Left hand by Molina. He's winning some of these exchanges now, and that wasn't happening in the first 3 rounds.
And he has a good chance for a good knockdown because he's put in some good body punches.
Yeah, he's invested, that's for sure.
One thing happened earlier, Oscar went down to the body a few times too.
Now he goes back to the jab.
What a beautiful left jab.
Takes a right hand over the top. De La Hoya with a look of extreme frustration on his face. And if you listen between rounds, Oscar's not getting a lot of tactical guidance in the corner from Robert Alcazar. A lot of support, a lot of encouragement, but he may be thinking, what am I supposed to do next?
Well, you're in with Oscar De La Hoya. He showed he doesn't want a manager, so you better not persist too much in giving him too much advice.
Okay? Because of his pressure and effective aggressiveness. And De La Hoya refuses to step forward and get off with a good left jab, right hand combination.
I have De La Hoya ahead 5 rounds to 2.
And again, between rounds, a quiet corner for De La Hoya.
Now De La Hoya is starting to find his stuff at home. He's flicking his left jab, which is something you ought to do when you can't do anything else. Coast a little bit. Use your left jab. Make this guy think I may hit you and I may not.
What he's done in adapting to this fight is to become the counterpuncher rather than taking the lead. And that's unusual for a young fighter like this against a quality opponent to be able to modify whatever his plans were to adapt to the circumstances.
De La Hoya takes a hard right hand over the top, tries to retaliate with the left, but Molina effectively steps away.
Step back, clean, come on, here we go.
Future opponents are looking at this and saying, wow, John seems to reach him time and time again with that looping right.
Now, John does a lot better when he just shortens that left hook rather than throwing those wild shots.
John never misses a chance inside to dig to the body.
But the way it's supposed to go, you go 4 rounds to the body and then you come up to the head. You just can't stay down there anymore. They say that Oscar De La Hoya turns the heat on extremely hot when he trains, so this kid is accustomed to the heat.
De La Hoya trains at altitude in Big Bear, California. Claims he's in the best shape tonight that he's ever been in for a boxing match.
Boy, did that right hand by De La Hoya hurt Molina. It hurt. Oscar doesn't even know it.
Molina walks away after taking that right hand shot to the body.
Wisely done. Walk away. Good body punching by Molina once again. And a rapid punch.
And Oscar looking around the arena as if to say, what a nuisance this guy is.
Both you guys are fighting a hell of a fight, and that's stick up there, okay? Come on, let's go. Time.
That's what happens when an experienced fighter starts rapid punching, hitting behind the belt. It makes a younger fighter who's a lot classier start doing the same thing. It's up to the referee to get out there and make him stop.
Hit the back of the neck. Come on.
This has become a tough night for Mills Lane, George.
That's right, and you really don't know what to do, but sometimes
now he has to answer the toughest one of all. Will he have the endurance to go in a hard, tough fight like this? 4 more hard rounds.
De La Hoya looking for Mills Lane to break him apart. Molina just pounding away to the body. We heard Lou Duva, George, asking Molina to hit De La Hoya underneath the left arm when he jabs. What's that all about?
Well, I didn't hear you.
Lou Duva asking Molina to hit De La Hoya under the left elbow on the bottom of the arm when he jabs him.
I think Lou Duva at this point now is just doing a lot of yeah. And he hasn't got a whole lot of anything on what he's saying. Early on, what he said made a point, but now it's like, I got to say something.
All right, one step back. Now you're tied in. One step back in. Come on.
Molina now has just got to keep throwing that overhand right. Keep throwing that overhand right.
All right. One step. Come on.
That's right. You got to dig down sometime, Oscar. Nobody's going to give you anything. Oh, Molina's gone completely rude.
A look of rage on the face of Oscar De La Hoya as he tries to preserve his status of the golden boy of the lightweight division.
I've never heard a fighter called rude,
Let him go.
George.
Let him go in there. Come on.
The big job is for the referee now to keep this guy from rabbit punching. Look, take points away from him at this point, otherwise Oscar's going to have to start doing the same thing.
It's a mark of how tough Molina is that De La Hoya hasn't been able to hurt him recently, even when Molina is winging those shots from the outside, side to side, coming in, winging outside shots like that. De La Hoya ought to be able to come straight up the middle against him, George.
Yeah, Oscar De La Hoya is in unfamiliar territory, and for that you allow him a lot of things you ordinarily wouldn't allow an more experienced fighter. His legs are bouncing now. He's going to use his jab a little bit, save it for the last round.
The fight is scheduled for 12. And through 9 rounds, it increasingly becomes a thriller. Over former middleweight and super middleweight champion James Toney moving up in weight to the light heavyweight class. Oscar De La Hoya knocked John Molina down in the first round and looked as though he might be able to score another spectacular early round knockout. But since then, Molina has gotten tougher and tougher and tougher, has succeeded in changing the style of the fight to a brawl, and has given De La Hoya everything he can handle for the past 5 or 6 rounds. Both fighters look tired in round 10.
Oscar's been in for a fight. First right hand to the body by Oscar De La Hoya. A right hook.
Come on. Come on. Hey, come here. All right, come on.
Oscar De La Hoya is starting to get into the left hook to the body now.
Who's holding whom, George?
It's definitely Molina. Molina's doing some holding on now because he's trying to hit behind the head. You can only do it if you're holding on.
Coming up immediately following tonight's coverage of World Championship Boxing, stay tuned for the premiere of Real Sex 11 on the East Coast and On Deadly Ground on the West Coast. In case you've just joined us, you're looking at the conclusion of HBO's World Championship Boxing doubleheader from Las Vegas. And Oscar De La Hoya, the golden boy, takes some tough shots on the chin there from John Molina.
Too much rabbit punching on the young boy's back of his head. Someone should take some points away from Molina.
When is Mills going to penalize him? When is Mills Lane going to penalize
Molina? I don't know why he's allowing him to continue to hit Oscar behind the head.
Harold Letterman, have you seen a point deduction here in your view?
No, absolutely not. It's a rough fight. All I see is Oscar De La Hoya crying to Mills Lane that he's being butted and he's being hit behind the head. Let him fight back. I mean, this is a fight. It's not tiddlywinks. No, don't take away any points.
Listen, you cheat and you're not fighting. Boxing is the art. It's an art. He's hitting behind the belt. It's got to go.
So you think Lane should have deducted a point for the...
I don't know why he's not doing that. He's creating a nasty situation.
For Oscar De La Hoya's sake, his trainer better be right.
Come on.
I'm not sure Oscar's going to listen to it. What do you think, George? Is Oscar going to listen to those instructions from Robert Alcazar?
Yeah, but at the same time, Oscar is good-looking kid, but he's deep down a man. He's not going to allow this guy to just do anything to him.
Hard left hand there by De La Hoya as Molina came in. Harold Letterman, how do you score it going into these last two?
Jim, 95-94, 6 rounds to 4, John Molina. Since the 5th round on, I don't think Oscar De La Hoya's been able to handle the pressure. All he's doing is grabbing Molina. When Molina gets inside, Molina does all the punching.
Now, you're holding.
Lane has stopped the clock.
Okay, come on.
I have it 6 rounds to 3 and 1 even for De La Hoya.
So we have the usual difference of opinion at ringside.
De La Hoya is going to have to do what people in LA can do, is fight. The referee has allowed this guy to hit him behind the head, hold him and hit him. He starts to hold a little bit to avoid it, and the referee cautions him.
Let him go. Let him go.
Nobody's going to give it to you, Oscar.
Let him go. Let him go, Oscar.
Baptism by fire for Oscar De La Hoya. John Molina making prophecy of his assertion that the longer the fight went, the better it would be for him.
Let him go, come on.
Good right hand by Oscar. That stops the momentum a little bit.
Let him go, step back.
Oscar's legs are very weak now, but his fists are very heavy.
Yeah, but look at him leaning all over Molina there. You're right about his legs, George. And Molina's strategy of getting to De La Hoya's body and legs may have paid off, but there were 2 hard left-hand shots by De La Hoya. And now he drops his hands and says, come at me. And Molina obliges.
Oscar's trying things that he ought to try now. When you can't do it your way, try something else.
I'm sure Robert Alcazar has his heart in his throat.
Good left hook by Molina. That left hook hurt.
Come on, step back, both of them. Let him go.
Oscar De La Hoya got hurt.
Step back.
Remember what's at stake for De La Hoya. The May 6th date with Rafael Ruelas already set up. What do you think of that, George?
Oscar De La Hoya now is going to have to do what people have been doing for years, fight.
To go.
He's telling his fighter he has to win this round big to win the fight.
10th time past the 10th round for Molina. Vastly more experienced than De La Hoya, who goes into the 12th for only the 2nd time in his career.
It takes a lot of energy when the referee starts hitting on your hand.
Step back. Come on, guys.
Which man will be able to throw fearlessly here in the 12th?
Oscar De La Hoya is more accurate. He's standing flat-footed now. He's power. He hurt Molina that time. He's got to stand flat-footed and prove to him that, hey, I'm not backing up anymore. Make Molina move back.
Great body shot by De La Hoya.
De La Hoya is really showing something now.
He's rising.
To be able to stand in there in the 12th round of a tough fight with a tough fighter.
Oscar De La Hoya became a man tonight in the boxing ring.
You're right, George. Win or lose.
First time ever in this situation. In a spirited battle in the 12th round, and De La Hoya rising to the occasion. Right hand by De La Hoya. Molina holding on.
Good right hand by De La Hoya.
And De La Hoya screams at Lane, get him off me.
Molina was wise to hold on.
He had to.
I thought he might have fallen if he hadn't held on.
Those good strong legs of Molina, like a soccer player or something.
It has so far been a great 12th round for De La Hoya. Under pressure. Another blistering right hand up the pipe.
Come on. Let him go in there. One step back. Come on.
Molina is hurt, and Oscar knows that he is a 12-round experienced fighter now.
Oh, this is champion stuff by De La Hoya in the 12th. He almost went down as he wobbled himself, but kept throwing.
Being hit behind the head like that.
De La Hoya has just cleaned Molina out in the 12th round. He has emptied the house.
Hey, ho. Come on.
That's when I say, watch HBO. You're going to see some stuff.
Oscar De La Hoya's first 12-round route-going performance.
Jerry Roth scores the bout 116 to 111. Chuck Jampa scores it 117 to 110. And John Rupert scores it 116 to 111 for the winner. And still champion, the Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya.
Gentlemen, I gave your instructions earlier in the dressing room. I want you to protect yourselves and obey my commands at all times. Understood? Touch them up. Good luck. Bon chance.
Charpentier says that the question for De La Hoya is, does he know how to suffer? Nobody has made him suffer in the ring yet. Is Charpentier the fighter who can do that?
We saw De La Hoya avoid eye contact with his opponent during the referee's instructions. It's always been his custom in the past. State of Texas regards Lawrence Cole as its best referee. De La Hoya has had 4 first-round knockouts in his career.
Charpentier's hands very high, Roy, to deal with De La Hoya's jab.
Yeah, but he reached for that first jab, and he's already wide open for Oscar's left hook. And there you saw Oscar try the hook because he thought it was open.
First left hook of the bout for De La Hoya. De La Hoya's handlers, Gil Clancy included, thinking that the left hook to the body is likely to be available here tonight. Charpentier tends to extend his hands when he tries to come forward. Charpentier short with a couple of jabs. De La Hoya twice to the body, right and left. Left hook to the body, left upstairs. Doesn't seem to be favoring the left wrist, Roy.
No, not at all. He's already making the left hand very active in this fight.
Charpentier mindful of pulling the right hand back quickly after he extended to throw the right cross. De La Hoya quite often uses the first round to sort of look and feel his opponent out and becomes more aggressive when the second bell rings.
Charpentier so far making De La Hoya take the lead.
Charpentier using his right elbow to try to block the left hook to the body. De La Hoya surely will take note of that and think of coming back upstairs.
Because his hands are on the side of his face so much, Charpentier, I think De La Hoya's left uppercut would be a big factor here too.
Crowd responding to every De La Hoya movement.
Very few clean punches landing here.
Cautious first round for both fighters. Straight right hand lands for De La Hoya. 2 left hooks to the body. If Oscar can progressively make the right hand more of a factor from fight to fight, it will increase the degree to which he's a nightmare for his opponents. You don't come in against De La Hoya, Roy, thinking, I have to stop his right hand.
No, you don't do that. I don't think Charpentier came in to do that.
uppercut. Oscar De La Hoya threw his first one with about 8 seconds left in the round.
Charpentier's strategy may be to try to extend the fight for as long as we can. Since Oscar's been out of the ring for some time, maybe get overeager.
Well, I think Oscar hit him with a straight right hand over the top of his jab that hurt him already in the first round. So I don't think he really can take Oscar's punch. It's just Oscar has to take his time and set him up for one.
De La Hoya indicated that because of the size of the crowd and the passion they've shown for him, he wouldn't mind if they see a few rounds. He wasn't necessarily looking for an immediate chance at a knockout. And he has had 6 second-round knockouts in his career, including the big one over Rafael Huelas. Charpentier so conscious of De La Hoya's left hand, he'll only throw his own left. He's thrown maybe a couple of right-hand punches in the fight, but by and large, he wants to keep that right next to his chin.
Yeah, he tasted Oscar's power earlier. He doesn't want to take any chances and get caught with a big punch here earlier.
Oscar backing the Frenchman up with his jab, looking for a chance to land a power punch. Charpentier still extremely protective of the right side of his jaw. Oscar might think more of dropping the right hand over Charpentier's jab.
Yeah, he's dropped it a couple of times, but he's trying to break Charpentier's defense up with his left jab right now.
Hard left. Backs Charpentier into the ropes. Roy, when you talk about De La Hoya's punching power, his speed is obvious. It's easy to see how fast he is with his hands. But I always tell people I think his power comes from terrific technique. He really has been well schooled in how to throw punches.
Yeah, he has, and I think speed is also power, Jim. Anytime you see a guy deliver punches with the speed that Oscar does, there has to be power there. But he does throw beautiful punches. He was taught well by somebody, and he throws textbook punches, so they have to be powerful.
Particularly the left hook. Left hook to the body, uppercut, misses short. De La Hoya landing a straight left right through Charpentier's guard.
Charpentier is like a heavy bag here. He's just letting Oscar can do anything he wants to do whenever he gets ready.
Charpentier throws a left hook and a right hand. So maybe the Frenchman is going to open up and become a tiny bit more aggressive after plodding through the first 2 rounds, throwing jabs almost exclusively and using his right hand to protect against Oscar De La Hoya's left hook and left jab.
Yeah, he came out as though he really wants to start fighting this round. Let's see how long will it last.
De La Hoya's cornermen, trainer Robert Alcazar, Gil Clancy, the whole camp, they like to refer to Charpentier as the piñata. And that's why. Charpentier's handlers told us he's never been knocked down.
I thought that was a left hook as he pulled away, Roy.
It was a good left hook. He threw a right hand and followed with a left hook in the back. That was another good straight right hand.
I don't think he was hurt badly, but there he is, dazed now.
4, 5, 6. No 3 knockdown rule. De La Hoya doing a terrific job of using the right to set up his left hook.
That's right. He actually landed a left uppercut that time, I think.
Yep. It was a perfect uppercut. And now the jab comes right through the center of Charpentier's guard. Frenchman down twice in the round. Very sharp punching by Oscar De La Hoya. referee Lawrence Cole has seen enough. After a perfect, short, straight right hand finishes the job.
Yeah, he's standing right there. He's wide open for the punches. His hands on the side of his face. You always can hit a guy down the middle with his hands on the side of his face.
Here's another look at knockdown number 1. Larry?
There you can see the left hook, quick left hook, an 8-inch left hook. There you see it again from a different angle as Charpentier elected to come in and fight him a little bit and caught that left hook. The next knockdown, which we'll see momentarily,
is the uppercut.
Is the uppercut as Charpentier was protecting his outside from the left hook.
Body, body, right up the middle.
When you're not getting any resistance, this looks almost too good. How will De La Hoya do when somebody comes out and is willing to stand in there and fight him? How will he do when somebody is hitting him the way he's hitting Charpentier now? That's what we haven't found. It's remarkable this much into his career. There is not a single memorable fight that De La Hoya has fought because nobody has given him that kind of stiff resistance.
And the third knockdown, the perfect right cross.
At 1 minute, 56 seconds of round number 3, referee Lawrence Cole, following the third knockdown, calls a halt to the bout. The winner by knockout victory, still undefeated and still the reigning WBC welterweight champion of the world, El Niño de Oro, the Golden Boy,